Every UPSC result proves one thing quietly. Success does not begin at the final stage. It begins much earlier, with the kind of foundation a student builds. The UPSC CSE 2025 result makes that visible again. 10 candidates in the top 100 prepared through the Vision IAS GS Foundation Classroom course, including AIR 5 Nishan Bhatnagar. That kind of result is not built on motivation alone. It is built on the right sequence, the right guidance, and the right correction. This is what the Vision IAS Delhi GS Foundation course is designed for. Concept-first classroom learning, so preparation is not scattered. Early answer writing and testing, so improvement starts on time. PT 365 and Mains 365, so current affairs become usable in the exam. And mentorship that keeps preparation aligned, focused and accountable. Because in UPSC, hard work is common. Structured preparation is what creates separation. If you are targeting UPSC 2027, start by building your base the right way. Vision IAS Delhi GS Foundation course. Upcoming classroom batches at Karol Bagh, 24th March at 5 p.m., 30th March at 8 a.m. and 7th April at 11 a.m. At GTB Nagar, 17th March at 8 a.m. and 25th March at 6 p.m. Register at our website or call us on the given numbers.
यूपीएससी 2027 का लक्ष्य जितना बड़ा है उसे पाने की योजना भी उतनी ही स्पष्ट और संगठित होनी चाहिए। विजन आईएएस लेकर आया है क्लासरूम फाउंडेशन कोर्स 2027 के 12 से 14 महीनों का एक ऐसा सुव्यवस्थित कार्यक्रम है जहां आपकी तैयारी एक अनुशासित और वैज्ञानिक ढांचे में आगे बढ़ती है। यहाँ क्लासरूम लर्निंग के साथ साथ आपको मिलता है लाइव और रिकॉर्डेड सेशंस का विकल्प, जिसे आप अपने व्यक्तिगत ऑनलाइन पोर्टल के माध्यम से कभी भी और कहीं भी एक्सेस कर सकते हैं। तैयारी के सफर को और भी प्रभावी बनाती है हमारी व्यक्तिगत क्लासरूम मेंटरिंग। हमारे एक्सपर्ट मेंटर्स नियमित मार्गदर्शन और स्मार्ट स्टडी मैनेजमेंट के जरिए आपकी तैयारी को एक सही दिशा और गति प्रदान करते हैं। शैक्षणिक दृष्टिकोण से देखें तो ये कोर्स मुख्य परीक्षा के सामान्य अध्ययन के चारों प्रश्न पत्रों, सीसेट और निबंध का व्यापक कवरेज सुनिश्चित करता है। विषयों की समसामयिक समझ विकसित करने के लिए मासिक करंट अफेयर्स मैगजीन और रिवीजन क्लासेस के साथ साथ PT 365 और मेंस 365 की विशेष कक्षाएं भी इस कार्यक्रम का अनिवार्य हिस्सा हैं, ताकि स्टैटिक और करंट अफेयर्स के बीच एक सटीक संतुलन बना रहे। तैयारी की गहराई मापने के लिए निरंतर अभ्यास अनिवार्य है, इसलिए डेली असाइनमेंट और साप्ताहिक मिनी टेस्ट के साथ साथ मासिक प्रीलिम्स और मेंस टेस्ट के माध्यम से आपकी प्रगति का निरंतर आकलन किया जाता है। इस कार्यक्रम की शक्ति है हमारी प्रतिष्ठित ऑल इंडिया टेस्ट सीरीज, जिसमें प्रीलिम्स के 35, मेंस के 30, सीसेट के 25 और निबंध के 5 टेस्ट का समावेश है। साथ ही संधान पोर्टल पर 25,000 से अधिक प्रश्नों का विशाल संग्रह आपके अभ्यास और विश्लेषण को और भी सुदृढ़ बनाता है। अब समय है अपनी मेहनत को एक मजबूत, संरचित और निरंतर प्रक्रिया में ढालने का। विजन आईएएस के साथ जुड़े और यूपीएससी 2027 की अपनी सफलता की राह को एक स्पष्ट दिशा दें।
Prelims is in 3 months. This is where preparation shifts, not from studying to stopping, but from expanding to consolidating. At this stage, what matters most is strengthening core areas, fixing weak zones, analyzing mistakes deeply, stabilizing mock scores, refining your attempt strategy. That is exactly where the Lakshya Prelims mentoring program plays a decisive role, offering structured direction, performance correction, and continuous guidance when execution matters the most. Starting from 23rd February, Lakshya supports this critical phase with a focused revision roadmap, personalized tests and competitive quizzes, 25,000 plus curated Sandhan questions, data-driven performance analytics, mentor guidance till the exam. Lakshya is not about studying more, it's about executing better with expert guidance. To know more or register, visit our website or call us on the given numbers. Are you ready to face prelims head-on? Because prelims is not just about knowledge, it's about performance under pressure. That's where Abhyaas, the All India Prelims, GS plus CSAT mock test comes in. Designed as a true exam simulation, Abhyaas recreates the real UPSC. Prelims experience the same pattern, the same time constraints and the same intensity. It places you in a national arena, competing with aspirants across India, backed by an all-India ranking that reveals your true standing. Attempted by 1 in 3 top 50 rankers, Abhyaas has become a trusted benchmark for serious aspirants. With detailed post-test analysis, live discussions and complete syllabus coverage in both English and Hindi, it ensures your preparation is not just extensive but exam-ready. 3 full-length offline simulations will be conducted across 100 plus cities on 5th April, 19th April and 10th May, from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. for General Studies, that is paper 1, and 2:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. for CSAT, that's paper 2. Challenge your preparation, test your performance. For more information or register, visit our website or call us on the given.
All serious aspirants are able to solve polity, economy and geography questions in the prelims. But when it comes to ancient and medieval history and art and culture, everyone stands on the same platform. Whether you are a fresher or a repeater, attempts don't matter here. Most aspirants end up guessing answers, relying on vague recall and finally getting stuck in a dicey zone near the cutoff. And it is exactly here where margins matter, that marks are lost or gained. To create a clear edge over the cutoff, Vision IAS Prelims Speedup is for you. The real challenge with history and culture is not effort but direction. Multiple sources, overlapping facts, confusing timelines and factual overload make these subjects risky. UPSC further complicates things by framing indirect elimination-based questions where partial knowledge often backfires. As a result, even well-prepared aspirants hesitate at crucial moments. Prelims Speedup is designed as a 20-day last-mile score booster to solve this exact problem. Instead of broad coverage, the program focuses only on high-grade areas that UPSC repeatedly asks in ancient history, medieval history, and art and culture. The emphasis is on conceptual clarity, chronology, and intelligent linkage, so facts finally start making sense together. With concept-driven classes, the course tells you what to remember, what to ignore, and how to apply. Structured daily practice and tests train your mind for elimination, helping you avoid traps and guess less. The smart source consolidated content removes the burden of multiple books and speeds up the revision. In just 20 focus classes for ancient and medieval history and art and culture, Prelims Speedup converts static confusion into scoring confidence. If you want to move from cutoff anxiety to cutoff safety in Prelims 2026, this program gives you that decisive edge. Join today to get this edge.
Every UPSC result proves one thing quietly. Success does not begin at the final stage. It begins much earlier, with the kind of foundation a student builds. The UPSC CSE 2025 result makes that visible again. 10 candidates in the top 100 prepared through the Vision IAS GS Foundation Classroom course, including AIR 5 Nishan Bhatnagar. That kind of result is not built on motivation alone. It is built on the right sequence, the right guidance, and the right correction. This is what the Vision IAS Delhi GS Foundation course is designed for. Concept-first classroom learning, so preparation is not scattered. Early answer writing and testing, so improvement starts on time. PT 365 and Mains 365, so current affairs become usable in the exam. And mentorship that keeps preparation aligned, focused and accountable. Because in UPSC, hard work is common. Structured preparation is what creates separation. If you are targeting UPSC 2027, start by building your base the right way. Vision IAS Delhi GS Foundation course. Upcoming classroom batches at Karol, Bagh, 24th March at 5 p.m., 30th March at 8 a.m. and 7th April at 11 a.m. At GTP Nagar, 17th March at 8 a.m. and 25th March at 6 p.m. Register at our website or call us on the given numbers.
यूपीएससी 2027 का लक्ष्य जितना बड़ा है उसे पाने की योजना भी उतनी ही स्पष्ट और संगठित होनी चाहिए। विजन आईएएस लेकर आया है क्लासरूम फाउंडेशन कोर्स 2027 के 12 से 14 महीनों का एक ऐसा सुव्यवस्थित कार्यक्रम है जहां आपकी तैयारी एक अनुशासित और वैज्ञानिक ढांचे में आगे बढ़ती है। यहाँ क्लासरूम लर्निंग के साथ साथ आपको मिलता है लाइव और रिकॉर्डेड सेशंस का विकल्प, जिसे आप अपने व्यक्तिगत ऑनलाइन पोर्टल के माध्यम से कभी भी और कहीं भी एक्सेस कर सकते हैं। तैयारी के सफर को और भी प्रभावी बनाती है हमारी व्यक्तिगत क्लासरूम मेंटरिंग। हमारे एक्सपर्ट मेंटर्स नियमित मार्गदर्शन और स्मार्ट स्टडी मैनेजमेंट के जरिए आपकी तैयारी को एक सही दिशा और गति प्रदान करते हैं। शैक्षणिक दृष्टिकोण से देखें तो ये कोर्स मुख्य परीक्षा के सामान्य अध्ययन के चारों प्रश्न पत्रों, सीसेट और निबंध का व्यापक कवरेज सुनिश्चित करता है। विषयों की समसामयिक समझ विकसित करने के लिए मासिक करंट अफेयर्स मैगजीन और रिवीजन क्लासेस के साथ साथ PT 365 और मेंस 365 की विशेष कक्षाएं भी इस कार्यक्रम का अनिवार्य हिस्सा हैं, ताकि स्टैटिक और करंट अफेयर्स के बीच एक सटीक संतुलन बना रहे। तैयारी की गहराई मापने के लिए निरंतर अभ्यास अनिवार्य है, इसलिए डेली असाइनमेंट और साप्ताहिक मिनी टेस्ट के साथ साथ मासिक प्रीलिम्स और मेंस टेस्ट के माध्यम से आपकी प्रगति का निरंतर आकलन किया जाता है। इस कार्यक्रम की शक्ति है हमारी प्रतिष्ठित ऑल इंडिया टेस्ट सीरीज, जिसमें प्रीलिम्स के 35, मेंस के 30, सीसेट के 25 और निबंध के 5 टेस्ट का समावेश है। साथ ही संधान पोर्टल पर 25,000 से अधिक प्रश्नों का विशाल संग्रह आपके अभ्यास और विश्लेषण को और भी सुदृढ़ बनाता है। अब समय है अपनी मेहनत को एक मजबूत, संरचित और निरंतर प्रक्रिया में ढालने का। विजन आईएएस के साथ जुड़े और यूपीएससी 2027 की अपनी सफलता की राह को एक स्पष्ट दिशा दें।
Prelims is in 3 months. This is where preparation shifts, not from studying to stopping, but from expanding to consolidating. At this stage, what matters most is strengthening core areas, fixing weak zones, analyzing mistakes deeply, stabilizing mock scores, refining your attempt strategy. That is exactly where the Lakshya Prelims mentoring program plays a decisive role, offering structured direction, performance correction, and continuous guidance when execution matters the most. Starting from 23rd February, Lakshya supports this critical phase with a focused revision roadmap, personalized tests and competitive quizzes, 25,000 plus curated Sandhan questions, data-driven performance analytics, mentor guidance till the exam. Lakshya is not about studying more, it's about executing better with expert guidance. To know more or register, visit our website or call us on the given numbers. Are you ready to face prelims head-on? Because prelims is not just about knowledge, it's about performance under pressure. That's where Abhyaas, the All India Prelims, GS plus CSAT mock test comes in. Designed as a true exam simulation, Abhyaas recreates the real UPSC. Prelims experience the same pattern, the same time constraints and the same intensity. It places you in a national arena, competing with aspirants across India, backed by an all-India ranking that reveals your true standing. Attempted by 1 in 3 top 50 rankers, Abhyaas has become a trusted benchmark for serious aspirants. With detailed post-test analysis, live discussions and complete syllabus coverage in both English and Hindi, it ensures your preparation is not just extensive but exam-ready. 3 full-length offline simulations will be conducted across 100 plus cities on 5th April, 19th April and 10th May, from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. for General Studies, that is Paper 1, and 2:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. for CSAT, that's Paper 2. Challenge your preparation, test your performance. For more information or register, visit our website or call us on the given.
All serious aspirants are able to solve polity, economy and geography questions in the prelims. But when it comes to ancient and medieval history and art and culture, everyone stands on the same platform. Whether you are a fresher or a repeater, attempts don't matter here. Most aspirants end up guessing answers, relying on vague recall and finally getting stuck in a dicey zone near the cutoff. And it is exactly here where margins matter that marks are lost or gained. To create a clear edge over the cutoff, Vision IAS Prelims speedup is for you. The real challenge with history and culture is not effort but direction. Multiple sources, overlapping facts, confusing timelines and factual overload make these subjects risky. UPSC further complicates things by framing indirect elimination-based questions where partial knowledge often backfires. As a result, even well-prepared aspirants hesitate at crucial moments. Prelims speedup is designed as a 20-day last-mile score booster to solve this exact problem. Instead of broad coverage, the program focuses only on high-grade areas that UPSC repeatedly asks in ancient history, medieval history, and art and culture. The emphasis is on conceptual clarity, chronology, and intelligent linkage, so facts finally start making sense together. With concept-driven classes, the course tells you what to remember, what to ignore, and how to apply. Structured daily practice and tests train your mind for elimination, helping you avoid traps and guess less. The smart source consolidated content removes the burden of multiple books and speeds up the revision. In just 20 focus classes for ancient and medieval history and art and culture, Prelims speedup converts static confusion into scoring confidence. If you want to move from cutoff anxiety to cutoff safety in Prelims 2026, this program gives you that decisive edge. Join today to get this edge.
Every UPSC result proves one thing quietly: success does not begin at the final stage. It begins much earlier, with the kind of foundation a student builds. The UPSC CSE 2025 result makes that visible again. 10 candidates in the top 100 prepared through the Vision IAS GS Foundation Classroom course, including AIR 5 Nishan Bhatnagar. That kind of result is not built on motivation alone. It is built on the right sequence, the right guidance, and the right correction. This is what the Vision IAS Delhi GS Foundation course is designed for. Concept-first classroom learning, so preparation is not scattered. Early answer writing and testing, so improvement starts on time. PT 365 and Mains 365, so current affairs become usable in the exam. And mentorship that keeps preparation aligned, focused and accountable. Because in UPSC, hard work is common. Structured preparation is what creates separation. If you are targeting UPSC 2027, start by building your base the right way. Vision IAS Delhi GS Foundation course. Upcoming classroom batches at Karol Bagh, 24th March at 5 p.m, 30th March at 8 a.m, and 7th April at 11 a.m. At GTB Nagar, 17th March at 8 a.m. and 25th March at 6 p.m. Register at our website or call us on the given numbers.
यूपीएससी 2027 का लक्ष्य जितना बड़ा है उसे पाने की योजना भी उतनी ही स्पष्ट और संगठित होनी चाहिए। विजन आईएएस लेकर आया है क्लासरूम फाउंडेशन कोर्स 2027 के 12 से 14 महीनों का एक ऐसा सुव्यवस्थित कार्यक्रम है जहां आपकी तैयारी एक अनुशासित और वैज्ञानिक ढांचे में आगे बढ़ती है। यहाँ क्लासरूम लर्निंग के साथ साथ आपको मिलता है लाइव और रिकॉर्डेड सेशंस का विकल्प, जिसे आप अपने व्यक्तिगत ऑनलाइन पोर्टल के माध्यम से कभी भी और कहीं भी एक्सेस कर सकते हैं। तैयारी के सफर को और भी प्रभावी बनाती है हमारी व्यक्तिगत क्लासरूम मेंटरिंग। हमारे एक्सपर्ट मेंटर्स नियमित मार्गदर्शन और स्मार्ट स्टडी मैनेजमेंट के जरिए आपकी तैयारी को एक सही दिशा और गति प्रदान करते हैं। शैक्षणिक दृष्टिकोण से देखें तो ये कोर्स मुख्य परीक्षा के सामान्य अध्ययन के चारों प्रश्न पत्रों, सीसेट और निबंध का व्यापक कवरेज सुनिश्चित करता है। विषयों की समसामयिक समझ विकसित करने के लिए मासिक करंट अफेयर्स मैगजीन और रिवीजन क्लासेस के साथ साथ PT 365 और मेंस 365 की विशेष कक्षाएं भी इस कार्यक्रम का अनिवार्य हिस्सा हैं, ताकि स्टैटिक और करंट अफेयर्स के बीच एक सटीक संतुलन बना रहे। तैयारी की गहराई मापने के लिए निरंतर अभ्यास अनिवार्य है, इसलिए डेली असाइनमेंट और साप्ताहिक मिनी टेस्ट के साथ साथ मासिक प्रीलिम्स और मेंस टेस्ट के माध्यम से आपकी प्रगति का निरंतर आकलन किया जाता है। इस कार्यक्रम की शक्ति है हमारी प्रतिष्ठित ऑल इंडिया टेस्ट सीरीज, जिसमें प्रीलिम्स के 35, मेंस के 30, सीसेट के 25 और निबंध के 5 टेस्ट का समावेश है। साथ ही संधान पोर्टल पर 25,000 से अधिक प्रश्नों का विशाल संग्रह आपके अभ्यास और विश्लेषण को और भी सुदृढ़ बनाता है। अब समय है अपनी मेहनत को एक मजबूत, संरचित और निरंतर प्रक्रिया में ढालने का। विजन आईएएस के साथ जुड़े और यूपीएससी 2027 की अपनी सफलता की राह को एक स्पष्ट दिशा दें।
Prelims is in 3 months. This is where preparation shifts, not from studying to stopping, but from expanding to consolidating. At this stage, what matters most is strengthening core areas, fixing weak zones, analyzing mistakes deeply, stabilizing mock scores, refining your attempt strategy. That is exactly where the Lakshya Prelims mentoring program plays a decisive role, offering structured direction, performance correction, and continuous guidance when execution matters the most. Starting from 23rd February, Lakshya supports this critical phase with a focused revision roadmap, personalized tests and competitive quizzes, 25,000 plus curated Sandhan questions, data-driven performance analytics, mentor guidance till the exam. Lakshya is not about studying more, it's about executing better with expert guidance. To know more or register, visit our website or call us on the given numbers. Are you ready to face prelims head on? Because prelims is not just about knowledge, it's about performance under pressure. That's where Abhyaas, the All India Prelims, GS plus CSAT mock test comes in. Designed as a true exam simulation, Abhyaas recreates the real UPSC. Prelims experience the same pattern, the same time constraints and the same intensity. It places you in a national arena, competing with aspirants across India, backed by an all-India ranking that reveals your true standing. Attempted by 1 in 3 top 50 rankers, Abhyaas has become a trusted benchmark for serious aspirants. With detailed post-test analysis, live discussions and complete syllabus coverage in both English and Hindi, it ensures your preparation is not just extensive but exam-ready. 3 full-length offline simulations will be conducted across 100 plus cities on 5th April, 19th April and 10th May. From 9:30 am to 11:30 am for General Studies, that is paper 1, and 2:30 pm to 4:30 pm for CSAT, that's paper 2. Challenge your preparation, test your performance. For more information or register, visit our website or call us on the given.
All serious aspirants are able to solve polity, economy and geography questions in the prelims. But when it comes to ancient and medieval history and art and culture, everyone stands on the same platform. Whether you are a fresher or a repeater, attempts don't matter here. Most aspirants end up guessing answers, relying on vague recall and finally getting stuck in a dicey zone near the cutoff. And it is exactly here where margins matter, that marks are lost or gained. To create a clear edge over the cutoff, Vision IAS Prelims Speedup is for you. The real challenge with history and culture is not effort but direction. Multiple sources, overlapping facts, confusing timelines and factual overload make these subjects risky. UPSC further complicates things by framing indirect elimination-based questions where partial knowledge often backfires. As a result, even well-prepared aspirants hesitate at crucial moments. Prelims Speedup is designed as a 20-day last-mile score booster to solve this exact problem. Instead of broad coverage, the program focuses only on high-grade areas that UPSC repeatedly asks in ancient history, medieval history, and art and culture. The emphasis is on conceptual clarity, chronology, and intelligent linkage, so facts finally start making sense together. With concept-driven classes, the course tells you what to remember, what to ignore, and how to apply. Structured daily practice and tests train your mind for elimination, helping you avoid traps and guess less. The smart source consolidated content removes the burden of multiple books and speeds up the revision. In just 20 focus classes for ancient and medieval history and art and culture, Prelims Speedup converts static confusion into scoring confidence. If you want to move from cutoff anxiety to cutoff safety in Prelims 2026, this program gives you that decisive edge. Join today to get this edge.
Every UPSC result proves one thing quietly: success does not begin at the final stage. It begins much earlier, with the kind of foundation a student builds. The UPSC CSE 2025 result makes that visible again. 10 candidates in the top 100 prepared through the Vision IAS GS Foundation Classroom course, including AIR 5 Nishan Bhatnagar. That kind of result is not built on motivation alone. It is built on the right sequence, the right guidance, and the right correction. This is what the Vision IAS Delhi GS Foundation course is designed for. Concept-first classroom learning, so preparation is not scattered. Early answer writing and testing, so improvement starts on time. PT 365 and Mains 365 so current affairs become usable in the exam. And mentorship that keeps preparation aligned, focused and accountable. Because in UPSC, hard work is common. Structured preparation is what creates separation. If you are targeting UPSC 2027, start by building your base the right way. Vision IAS Delhi GS Foundation course. Upcoming classroom batches at Karol, Bagh, 24th March at 5 p.m., 30th March at 8 a.m. and 7th April at 11 a.m. At GTP Nagar, 17th March at 8 a.m. and 25th March at 6 p.m. Register at our website or call us on the given numbers.
यूपीएससी 2027 का लक्ष्य जितना बड़ा है उसे पाने की योजना भी उतनी ही स्पष्ट और संगठित होनी चाहिए। विजन आईएएस लेकर आया है क्लासरूम फाउंडेशन कोर्स 2027 के 12 से 14 महीनों का एक ऐसा सुव्यवस्थित कार्यक्रम है जहां आपकी तैयारी एक अनुशासित और वैज्ञानिक ढांचे में आगे बढ़ती है। यहाँ क्लासरूम लर्निंग के साथ साथ आपको मिलता है लाइव और रिकॉर्डेड सेशंस का विकल्प, जिसे आप अपने व्यक्तिगत ऑनलाइन पोर्टल के माध्यम से कभी भी और कहीं भी एक्सेस कर सकते हैं। तैयारी के सफर को और भी प्रभावी बनाती है हमारी व्यक्तिगत क्लासरूम मेंटरिंग। हमारे एक्सपर्ट मेंटर्स नियमित मार्गदर्शन और स्मार्ट स्टडी मैनेजमेंट के जरिए आपकी तैयारी को एक सही दिशा और गति प्रदान करते हैं। शैक्षणिक दृष्टिकोण से देखें तो यह कोर्स मुख्य परीक्षा के सामान्य अध्ययन के चारों प्रश्न पत्रों, सीसेट और निबंध का व्यापक कवरेज सुनिश्चित करता है। विषयों की समसामयिक समझ विकसित करने के लिए मासिक करंट अफेयर्स मैगजीन और रिवीजन क्लासेस के साथ साथ PT 365 और मेंस 365 की विशेष कक्षाएं भी इस कार्यक्रम का अनिवार्य हिस्सा हैं, ताकि स्टैटिक और करंट अफेयर्स के बीच एक सटीक संतुलन बना रहे। तैयारी की गहराई मापने के लिए निरंतर अभ्यास अनिवार्य है, इसलिए डेली असाइनमेंट और साप्ताहिक मिनी टेस्ट के साथ साथ मासिक प्रीलिम्स और मेंस टेस्ट के माध्यम से आपकी प्रगति का निरंतर आकलन किया जाता है। इस कार्यक्रम की शक्ति है हमारी प्रतिष्ठित ऑल इंडिया टेस्ट सीरीज, जिसमें प्रीलिम्स के 35, मेंस के 30, सीसेट के 25 और निबंध के 5 टेस्ट का समावेश है। साथ ही संधान पोर्टल पर 25,000 से अधिक प्रश्नों का विशाल संग्रह आपके अभ्यास और विश्लेषण को और भी सुदृढ़ बनाता है। अब समय है अपनी मेहनत को एक मजबूत, संरचित और निरंतर प्रक्रिया में ढालने का। विजन आईएएस के साथ जुड़े और यूपीएससी 2027 की अपनी सफलता की राह को एक स्पष्ट दिशा दें।
Prelims is in 3 months. This is where preparation shifts, not from studying to stopping, but from expanding to consolidating. At this stage, what matters most is strengthening core areas, fixing weak zones, analyzing mistakes deeply, stabilizing mock scores, refining your attempt strategy. That is exactly where the Lakshya Prelims mentoring program plays a decisive role, offering structured direction, performance correction, and continuous guidance when execution matters the most. Starting from 23rd February, Lakshya supports this critical phase with a focused revision roadmap, personalized tests and competitive quizzes, 25,000 plus curated Sandhan questions, data-driven performance analytics, mentor guidance till the exam. Lakshya is not about studying more, it's about executing better with expert guidance. To know more or register, visit our website or call us on the given numbers. Are you ready to face prelims head-on? Because prelims is not just about knowledge, it's about performance under pressure. That's where Abhyaas, the All India Prelims, GS plus CSAT mock test comes in. Designed as a true exam simulation, Abhyaas recreates the real UPSC. Prelims experience the same pattern, the same time constraints and the same intensity. It places you in a national arena, competing with aspirants across India, backed by an all-India ranking that reveals your true standing. Attempted by 1 in 3 top 50 rankers, Abhyaas has become a trusted benchmark for serious aspirants. With detailed post-test analysis, live discussions and complete syllabus coverage in both English and Hindi, it ensures your preparation is not just extensive but exam-ready. 3 full-length offline simulations will be conducted across 100 plus cities on 5th April, 19th April and 10th May. From 9:30 am to 11:30 am for General Studies, that is Paper 1, and 2:30 pm to 4:30 pm for CSAT, that's Paper 2. Challenge your preparation, test your performance. For more information or register, visit our website or call us on the given.
All serious aspirants are able to solve polity, economy and geography questions in the prelims. But when it comes to ancient and medieval history and art and culture, everyone stands on the same platform. Whether you are a fresher or a repeater, attempts don't matter here. Most aspirants end up guessing answers, relying on vague recall and finally getting stuck in a dicey zone near the cutoff. And it is exactly here where margins matter, that marks are lost or gained. To create a clear edge over the cutoff, Vision IAS Prelims speedup is for you. The real challenge with history and culture is not effort but direction. Multiple sources, overlapping facts, confusing timelines, and factual overload make these subjects risky. UPSC further complicates things by framing indirect elimination-based questions where partial knowledge often backfires. As a result, even well-prepared aspirants hesitate at crucial moments. Prelims Speedup is designed as a 20-day last-mile score booster to solve this exact problem. Instead of broad coverage, the program focuses only on high-grade areas that UPSC repeatedly asks in ancient history, medieval history, and art and culture. The emphasis is on conceptual clarity, chronology, and intelligent linkage, so facts finally start making sense together. With concept-driven classes, the course tells you what to remember, what to ignore, and how to apply. Structured daily practice and tests train your mind for elimination, helping you avoid traps and guess less. The smart source consolidated content removes the burden of multiple books and speeds up the revision. In just 20 focus classes for ancient and medieval history and art and culture, Prelims Speedup converts static confusion into scoring confidence. If you want to move from cutoff anxiety to cutoff safety in Prelims 2026, this program gives you that decisive edge. Join today to get this edge.
Okay, good morning everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the class. We are starting with the topic of schemes in news, and primarily we are covering those schemes which are given in your PT 365 document. That is the basic resource for this particular topic. Okay. So have you read the schemes by now? Kuch bhi pada hai? Some idea? No, nothing? A little bit? Okay. Anyway, how many of you are appearing for the prelims this year? All of you. All right, very nice. So we'll start with the schemes. I'll be taking two parts today and tomorrow, and then Shivi ma'am will continue from there on next week. Okay. So we are covering schemes today related to the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Food Processing, and all those ministries which are dealing with natural resources, such as Ministry of Coal, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, and Ministry of Mines. Okay, these are the schemes we will be covering today. At the outset, for every scheme that we are going to study, there are a few aspects that should be particularly noted down about that scheme. Number one, whether it is a centrally sponsored scheme or a central sector scheme, right? Second thing is you should know who are the targeted beneficiaries, that who is the target audience for this. Sometimes the target audience is different, but unintended benefits reach out to other stakeholders as well. So you have to make sure that you know that where the money is going in case of the scheme. One is the targeted beneficiary, and then there are other benefits that arise out of it. Third thing you have to note down is what are the multiple stakeholders. For example, if there is any particular implementing agency, whether there is any regulating body that is dealing with this, okay, and which is the nodal ministry. So organizations, agencies, bodies related to that particular scheme, okay. These are a few points, and of course a little bit about number crunching. So for example, how much outlay has been given, how much money, when did the scheme start, right? What was the starting year? That's also important. So these are 4 or 5 aspects of every scheme that you should know. UPSC will most probably, see, we have seen questions from schemes every year in the prelims paper. There are 3 to 4 questions from schemes. For example, last year there was a question on Pradhan Mantri Surya Ghar Yojana, right? Muft Bijli Yojana. So UPSC has been asking questions on schemes, but they are not of very difficult level. They are of moderate difficulty level. They will try to trap you in by confusing two schemes. Okay, so for example, can you tell me the difference between Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi, right? Kisan Man Dhan Yojana, Kisan Sampada Yojana, they all sound the same. They all sound the same, so we should know what is the difference among all of these, what is the target beneficiary, what is the purpose for which the scheme has been launched. Okay, so on that note, let's start today's class. Schemes in news is the name of the topic, and first and foremost we are going to discuss what are the different kinds of schemes that Government of India basically releases or enacts. So for example, you can see, you can divide this classification based on different criteria. The first criteria is the funding criteria, based on the funding pattern. Who is funding it? Whether the central government is funding it or whether it is being done with collaboration with states. If it is 100% fully central government, that is Government of India sponsored scheme, it becomes a central sector scheme. Central sector, that means the entire money is coming from Government of India. This usually happens in those schemes in which there is more of strategic involvement, or you can say directly the government wants to put money in the accounts of certain beneficiaries, Government of India, to supplement their income. So this is more of a little bit of national based, which is national interest based, where they have a pan-India understanding. Second is centrally sponsored schemes. Centrally sponsored schemes are those where the cost is shared between the government, central government and the state government. Central government, usually the ratio for normal states is about 60 to 40. For certain special states like Northeast and hilly terrain, the ratio is 90 to 10. Okay, 60-90 being borne by the Government of India, rest being borne by the state governments. And then there are state schemes, which are local schemes, which have been done by the state government itself only for the purpose in their own states. Okay, so these are the three kinds of states. If you have to divide them on the basis of the objective or sector, there are social welfare schemes. So for example, health, nutrition, poverty, you can say PM Poshan Abhyaas, right? Something which is targeted, for example, women and children, those kind of schemes. Schemes related to economic development, leading to industry, infrastructure, agriculture, environmental schemes, governance and administrative schemes which are related to, let's say, digital public goods, or which are trying to improve the digital infrastructure in the country, and governance models. Next is target-based beneficiaries. So for example, based on the what category of people. So you have universal schemes that is available for all. These are basic service schemes which will be available to all irrespective of age, gender, location, place where you are, everything irrespective of that. These are universal schemes. Targeted schemes which are for specific groups like women, farmers, backward classes, etc. And then geography-based schemes. For example, schemes for the Northeast region. For example, for left-wing extremism impacted areas, hilly areas. So these are targeted geography-based schemes. So depending on the beneficiaries. Based on implementation mechanism. Now this is also very, very important because this is what UPSC usually asks you. Whether the money is directly going into the bank account of the targeted beneficiary, or is it going through an agency? Or if it is going through an agency, is it going to the person, at the last mile person, let's say a farmer, a woman, or is it going to some vendor or some company who is providing services to the beneficiary? So that also has to be understood. Similarly, subsidy-based mechanisms, where the, let's say, the cost of installing something, for example, a solar panel, or let's say for irrigation infrastructure, anything that the beneficiary is installing, uska cost kam karna, right? So that is subsidy based. And under this you can also have, for example, interest subvention, where loan can be given at lesser interest rates. Then you have mission mode schemes which are time bound, for example, Swachh Bharat, which have goals. And then umbrella schemes which directly include everything under them. Based on legal and policy backing, some schemes are backed by law. Okay, that means they have been enacted after a law has been enacted, let's say by the parliament or the state legislature. Most of the schemes are executive in nature. Most of the schemes lie in this domain. And then of course, whether you are transferring cash, whether you are giving in kind of support, are you giving fertilizers, are you providing the material, and then service, whether it is service oriented. Okay, and finally, timeline, whether the schemes are short term, long term, is it for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 7 years, or a much longer strategic plan. All right, this is how we generally divide the schemes. Now, the most important aspect of schemes in India is how the money flows. How the money flows in India, how the money comes. And that is a part of the public financial management system in India, that how the money is going. Public financial management system is a very broad term which includes things like budgeting, right? So for example, at the first stage, the government will plan, okay, I need to do something for upliftment, let's say for the farmers of India, right? At the planning stage. There, as a part of the 5-year plans, as a part of the annual plans, as a part of the budget estimates, they will understand that what is the requirement, what intervention we have to make, and accordingly the budget has to be done for this. The budgeting is done, so some amount of money is kept separate, right? And of course, the money is mostly coming from Consolidated Fund of India. Then these funds are released. These are released either directly to the beneficiary, depending on central sector scheme, or to the state government. Or it can also go to an agency, for example, NABARD, correct? So any intermediary can also be there through which the money is given to the beneficiary. Finally, accounting of how the money was there, where it went, completely tracking the trail of money. That is also a part of the public financial management system, for which we have specific tools. We have specific tools, for example, eKuber. eKuber is an initiative of RBI, which basically tracks how funds are transferred from the union government to the state government. This tracking is done through eKuber. Similarly, you have the Bharat Kosh. Bharat Kosh is what? Bharat Kosh is for non-tax payments that we want to make to the government. Non-tax payments for small receipts. Okay, so Bharat Kosh is for that. So again, you are in a way here, you are tracking how the money is flowing out of the government of India's pocket, and in Bharat Kosh, you are tracking how the money is coming in to the government of India. So these are all, you can say, in a way, tracking tools as well. Okay. Similarly, you have Sparrow, which is for pension benefits, retirement benefits. DBT, direct benefit transfer, to hai ye. Government e-marketplace, which is for procurement by the government of commodities, correct? And of course, the PMFS, which is the real-time tracking of how overall the funds are moving in the government sector. So basically the most important aspect here is public financial management system in India, which is responsible for budgeting, responsible for accountability, how money, where it is moving, end-to-end tracking of funds, whether it is through DBT, whether it is through receipts, whether it is to real-time information, anything that is happening, the whole thing is being tracked. And which are the agencies which are basically a part of this? First is the Ministry of Finance, Department of Expenditure, which is basically giving the outlays, or rather you can say disbursing the funds. Then the state government ministry and department. So if you want to execute an irrigation program in the state, the funds will be given by the Ministry of Finance, right? And maybe to the Ministry of, let's say, you can say irrigation or Jal Shakti. That in turn will give money to the states for some irrigation work. The specific irrigation department or agriculture department in the state will receive that fund. Then, of course, there are accounting agencies. So, for example, you have the CAG, you have the Public Accounts Committee, which is, of course, a parliamentary committee. But all the accounting agencies also which are responsible for this. Okay. Once the money is received by the state government usually transfers or sends it through the line departments, sometimes through the Gram Panchayat, Gram Sabhas, and sometimes through the district government. All right. So these are the different mechanisms where the entire public financial management system of India operates. Okay. So on that note, can you just answer this question? Okay. Next. करेक्ट. डीबीटी पता चल रहा है, डायरेक्ट ट्रांसफर, करेक्ट. और बी 2, करेक्ट. और भारत कोश, नो, 4 is already gone. Receipts and payments that the government is receiving. Okay, that's number 5. Clear? This is the answer. Fine. So this is how you implement what you have studied. This is the overall answer. All right. Clear? Okay. So let's start with Ministry of Agriculture or the agriculture sector in India. Write down Ministry of Agriculture. Now, agriculture, of course, you know, has a huge contribution to the growth story of India. It has a contribution to India's GVA, about 18%. Almost the amount of production of food grain in agriculture has reached almost 357, okay, 357 million tons, and we are registering an almost 8% growth in the agriculture sector. So this is one of the most important, and India is of course one of the largest exporters of agriculture in India. In terms of commodities, or rather food grains, you can say rice is the commodity which is maximum produced in India with about 150 million tons of production. Wheat 117, pulses is around 25. Pulses is about 25, and millets is around 18.5. Okay, so wheat being 117. Currently, overall, if you say in terms of lakh tons, you can say the current production of food grains in India is 250. The government targets that by 2030, this number should go up to 350 lakh tons. Okay, this is the target, especially by 2030. And the key focus of our topic today will be pulses, because government has recently launched a scheme called Atmanirbhar Bharat for pulses. Okay, so pulses, how much we have? About 27 to 28 million hectares in India are under pulses production. 27 to 28 million hectares is under pulses production, and we are expecting that this number should go up to 31 by 2030. This number should go up to 31 by 2030. The irony or the problem with pulses is, the major issue with pulses is that 80% of the pulses in India are grown in rain-fed areas. Okay, they are grown in rain-fed areas. That means there is no proper provision for irrigation, there is no proper provision for water management, watershed development, and also you can say that they are completely monsoon dependent. Okay, so if we look, that is exactly why government has now decided to launch a mission for Atmanirbharta in pulses. Mission for Atmanirbharta in pulses. Okay, mission in Atmanirbharta in pulses. So it is a centrally sponsored scheme. It is a centrally sponsored scheme which primarily covers three types of dals. That is tur dal, okay, which is also known as arhar, which is also known as pigeon pea. Then you have the urad dal and the masoor dal. Okay, that is black gram and red lentil. Black gram, red lentil and tur dal or pigeon pea are the three dals which are going to be implemented under this scheme. The aim is that we want to boost the domestic production of these dals, right? And primarily reduce our import dependence and attain self-sufficiency when it comes to these three dals. All right. Now, the important thing here to understand is that because these dals are grown primarily in rain-fed areas, The most important thing is irrigation to hai hai, but irrigation is something that is still ongoing with other schemes. We are trying to develop and promote climate resilient seeds for this. Okay, so the aim is climate resilient seeds. How we are going to increase our production? Number one, through climate resilient seeds. Number two, through increase in area under cultivation. Increase in area under cultivation. And what is the area currently? 26 to 27 million hectares. We want it to go up to 31, correct? And apart from this, post-harvest storage, so that we can create buffer stocks for the pulses also. For this, we will be following a cluster-based approach. So it's not like here kuch pulses. So we will identify, the government will identify certain areas, certain geographical regions, which will act like clusters for growing that particular pulse. And which is why in those cluster-based area, intervention will be made. All right. Okay. So what are we going to exactly do under this? The aim is to benefit at least 2 crore farmers. Beneficiaries will be around 2 crore farmers, and we will be giving them high-yielding, pest-resistant and climate-resistant pulse varieties. So we are promoting those seeds which are climate-resistant, high-yielding. All right. We will also promote soil-friendly practices in order to retain the nutrition of the soil. So for example, intercropping, crop diversification, crop rotation, all these techniques will be employed so that the soil remains nutrient dense. Okay. Then there is the procurement. To promote anything, any crop, any agriculture produce, if you want to promote it, you have to assure the farmers that we will give you money for this. That once you produce this, this will be sold, right? That assurance is given in the form of a procurement mechanism, which tur, urad and masoor, these 3 dals will be procured at MSP for the next 4 years. Okay, and almost 100% procurement will take place. So whatever the farmers are producing, so if you look at it from the farmer's point of view, whatever dal I produce, it will be purchased by the government at MSP. So my produce is ensured. Second thing is, from a government point of view, we are procuring, we are creating buffer stocks, right? At the same time, we are achieving nutritional security for the country. All right. Okay. So about 126 lakh quintals of certified seeds will be given. There will be 88 lakh seed kits. This is nothing but simply seed dispersal, or you can say rather distribution of seeds. The most important thing here is post-harvest and value chain is also a part of this scheme. So you are not only just growing pulses, you are making sure that whatever is grown, it is harvested, it is stored in buffer stocks, and it is also processed. So packaging units and processing units will be a part of this, for which government will provide subsidies up to rupees 25 lakh to every processing and packaging unit. Okay, so what are the different components under this? Climate resilient, high yielding varieties. Then we are talking about procurement. Third is post-harvest value chain. So post-harvest packaging and processing units will also be encouraged under this. All right. So implementation strategy will be cluster based. So, sorry, zoom kar dein. Are you able to see on the monitor? Okay. Better? Okay. Adopt a cluster-based approach. And what is the, for every, almost every scheme that the government is now implementing, they are ensuring that we use some sort of a tracking mechanism. So the tracking mechanism for this is the Sathi portal, which is seed authentication, traceability, and holistic inventory. All right. This is basically not just to check that what seeds are growing, where are they getting dispersed, where all in the value chain they are moving. So this is for primarily for seeds. Okay. Sathi portal, seed authentication, traceability, and holistic inventory. And what will be the benefit that will come out of this? You will have employment opportunities will be generated for the people who want to grow pulses now. farmers' income will be augmented, it will be supplemented, and you will achieve nutritional security, because 20 to 25% of the protein source of our country, we are primarily a vegetarian country, comes from pulses. Okay, the main bodies that are involved in this is of course the Ministry of Agriculture. The two main bodies are NAFED and NCCF, that is National Cooperative Consumers Federation of India. Okay, NAFED and NCCF. You can just write this down, NAFED and NCCF. ICAR, the main role of ICAR is in the seeds, right, related to seeds dispersal. And National Informatics Center is dealing with the IT support. Clear? So we are trying to achieve Atmanirbharta in pulses. Okay, now tell me something. When we think about the agriculture sector, in general, if you think about the agriculture sector, what are the different inputs that go into agriculture? What are the different inputs that are required for farmers? Seeds and irrigation, very good. Can you think of schemes specific to these, each of these? That's how we have to prepare the whole agriculture sector. If I talk about the, if I talk about just the inputs of agriculture, so farming activity includes agriculture, horticulture, animal husbandry, fisheries, etc. And if you think about the inputs, you need seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, you need institutional credit, loans, and you also need some sort of insurance service or some sort of guarantee that even if your crop fails, you will be secured monetarily. So this is the input that goes into this. And then once the output is there, once the produce is ready, whether it is agriculture, horticulture, we need some sort of cold storage facilities, we need minimum support price, so that whatever produce has been given out by the farmer can be effectively either sold or it can be consumed, go to the retailer, final end, last mile connectivity, or it can be stored in cold storage or buffer stocks for later use. That is for nutritional security. All right, and of course exports, that's also one aspect. Finally, in the end, when it finally reaches the people, we need a little bit of marketing. We need to ensure that post-harvest losses are minimized. In fact, recently there was an article that stated that India is one of the countries which has the highest post-harvest losses. Almost 1.5 lakh crores are lost to rot every year, especially in fruits and vegetables. And that is why now there is a demand that MSP should be extended to fruits and vegetables and not just cereals and food grains. Okay, so yes, these are all things that are required for ensuring that the farmer's income is supported and agriculture is promoted in India. So for each of these steps, if I have to divide the schemes under Ministry of Agriculture, I can do it in this following manner. Let's club this. Input supply and crop production. We'll include this as one category. Input supply and crop production. Input supply, you need seeds, fertilizer, water, and other, let's say, money and institutional funding mechanisms. So in this, we have schemes like PM Kisan. What is PM Kisan? To supplement or augment the income of the farmers. Okay, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, we know that is for crop insurance. How much premium is the farmer expected to pay? For Rabi crops, correct? Okay. Then soil health card scheme, you know that every 2 years the soil is tested or the health card is created. Kisan credit card, what does this scheme do? Zameen ke upar. So is it only given to those farmers who are landholders? No, it can go to anybody, tenants also. Okay, it can go to landless laborers also. So this is mainly just for providing money. And for what all purposes the money can be used? Apart from? Okay, machinery. Okay, all right. Okay, can it be used for personal consumption needs? Yes, personal consumption needs of the farmer. Good, very nice. So micro irrigation schemes, and then of course you have the National Mission on Agricultural Mechanization. These are the farm schemes related to farm input. Then you have the Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, which is almost like an umbrella scheme which covers everything. Then you have the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, which deals with irrigation. What are the different components of Krishi Sinchai Yojana? हर खेत को पानी. Yes. Okay, so we'll do this in detail. There are 4 main components. We'll do this in detail later because we have to cover this also. Okay. So once these schemes are there, then for the post-harvest, you need, once your harvest is ready, if the harvest is lost, you have Fasal Bima Yojana. If it is successful, then you need storage facilities for which you have Agricultural Infrastructure Fund. What does this scheme do? Storage facility to output hai. What is the government giving? Loans to? For what purpose? Yes, and this is primarily for long-term loans, okay? So almost like 2 crores loans for up to 7 years is being given by the government so that you can establish storage stocks, cold storage, buffers, granaries. Similarly, you have the Gramin Bhandaran Yojana. Gramin Bhandaran Yojana is also the same thing, which is for creating bhandars, or you can say stocks or stock places or godowns in the rural areas, right? Operation Greens, what is this related to? Okay, hint, this is a scheme of Ministry of Food Processing. No. This was earlier for the promotion of cultivation of tomato, onion and potato, top. Now this top has gone to total. That means almost 22 crops or vegetables have been included in this, where they are given MSP for procurement, right? That is from top to total we have gone, total 22 crops, all right? Then you have these food processing, jisme of course your Operation Greens is there, Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana, we will be doing this also in detail today. Production linked incentive schemes for food processing, mega food parks, the more production you do, the more incentive you get based on production, all right? And then of course marketing. Marketing you have ENAM, which is National Agricultural Market, Agricultural Export Policy, Price Support Scheme. What is Price Support Scheme? Okay, but PM ASHA जो price support scheme है, stabilization scheme under ASHA triggers when? कब देना? MSP तो दे ही रहे हैं, तो फिर ये कब ट्रिगर होगा? हाँ, कम प्रोड्यूस होगा अगर प्रोडक्ट, जो तुम बोल रहे हो कि कम प्रोड्यूस हो गया, अगर प्रोडक्ट कम प्रोड्यूस होगा तो उसका प्राइस वैसे ही हाई चला जाएगा. दिस हैपन्स व्हेन अ प्रोडक्ट, द वैल्यू और द मार्केट प्राइस ऑफ दैट प्रोडक्ट गोज बिलो द MSP. MSP से नीचे वो फॉल हो जाए, दैट इज व्हेन दिस price stabilization scheme comes into picture, because then the government is procuring this commodity at MSP in order to bring the prices at par with MSP. Okay, that is price support scheme. Okay, then you have agriculture infrastructure, ये हमने देख ही लिया है. Integrated cold chain, this is also related. Gati Shakti, which is related to rural connectivity, so that the food produce can be brought from farm to the retail outlets or the mandis. Clear? Retail consumption, when you are talking about consumption, तो फिर then we are in a different aspect. National Food Security Mission, Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana, then we are talking about FSSAI, Eat Right movement. This is more on the nutrition and health side. Clear? So these are the different schemes. So my request to you is chart out a flow chart in which you are writing each of these inputs. For each of the inputs, you should have the name of the scheme in front of it, right? What are the different schemes related to it, and how are they different from each other? And then which of those are central sector schemes and which of those are centrally sponsored schemes? This needs to be done, so your agricultural sector will be completely done once and for all. Okay, so we have done pulses. Let's move on to the next scheme, which is Pradhan Mantri. This is also a recently launched scheme. Pradhan Mantri Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana. Now, if you look at it very carefully, we'll just focus a little bit on name. Dhan is what? Dhan is wealth. And Dhanya is more like grains. Okay. So we are trying to augment the wealth of grains, which means you are trying to increase the production if you are trying to augment. But production तो हमारी वैसे ही सारी schemes are focused on production. चाहे कृषि सिंचाई योजना ले लो, फसल बीमा, they are all focused on production. Then what is different about this scheme from other schemes? The most important thing is that agricultural production and productivity in India is geographically very misaligned. It is not consistent. There are districts in India which are extremely underperforming when it comes to agriculture, and they have huge potential. Which is why for those 100 districts, 100 low performing agricultural districts, the government is now going to focus on them with the Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana. That means wo 100 districts jahan pe agricultural productivity is low, we are trying to augment the agricultural production. Okay, so 100 low performing agri districts for a period of 6 years. This will be the target, and which will be supported by what? Niti Aayog. So because you want to augment agricultural production, you need technical expertise also here, correct? How will they will check the soil, they will check the kind of crop varieties that can be grown, they will discuss with this with farmers. So they need some sort of technical help, which is why central and state agricultural universities are also important stakeholders in this. And Niti Aayog, of course, is the coordinating body. So you look at the features of this. Basically, to augment production, you need so many inputs. तो वो सारी जो schemes हैं, that is convergence of 36 central schemes will be done in this. So we are including everything. This is like an umbrella scheme, but targeted. अब जो हमने categorization of schemes देखा था, we had seen schemes which are geographically located, right? जैसे left-wing extremism. So this is one of those examples. Pradhan Mantri Dhan Dhanya. Dhan Dhanya is equal to 100. That is what we have to remember. The budgetary allocation is about 24,000 crores, all right, annually for a period of 6 years, starting from 25-26. All right. The 3-tier structure through which this will be implemented, of course, at the national level, you have an oversight body, which will be the Niti Aayog. At the state level, nodal communities will be established, which will be mostly from the Department of Agriculture. And at the district level, the Dhan Dhanya Samiti, which will be chaired by the district collector or the Gram Panchayat. Depending on the scope, these particular committees will prepare the local plan for district agriculture and allied activities. Now, important here, it's not just for grains. Dhan Dhanya to humne kiya hai, but we are also including allied activities in this. Clear? So Niti Aayog will review and guide the district plans. Central nodal officers will also be reviewing these on a regular basis. 36 agricultural schemes across 11 ministries are being consolidated in this. Okay? And of course, you have to have transparency. हर scheme के related एक उसका IT aspect भी है. For this, you have 117 key performance indicators through which it will be checked, and a digital dashboard will be created, farmers app, etc. And districts ko awards bhi milenge depending on the ranking, their performance. This is the model that the government has been following for almost everything now. Whether it is swachhata, open defecation, etc. Whether it is water conservation, government has started giving awards, and it works. It works. To a certain extent it does. All right. So what is the criteria? How have we selected these districts? These districts either have very low crop productivity. What is productivity? How is it different from production? Production per unit area, that is productivity, okay, or yield you can say. Or moderate cropping intensity, that means not enough time the field is sown. Maybe once it is sown in Rabi and then not sown in Kharif. So cropping intensity of the same field. So those which have a below national average, we have a national average of about 155%. All right, so those which are not sown for multiple seasons. And then low credit penetration, those districts where institutional credit or loans have not reached to a certain extent. These are the three criterias which determine how districts will be identified under Dhan Dhanya Yojana. Okay, and is this a central sector scheme or a centrally sponsored scheme? It is a central sector scheme. It is a central sector scheme. So just note this highlight that for this, because this is more of a national issue, okay, and it is not being implemented. अभी वैसे इसका एक rule है कि at least one district in one state will be identified for this purpose. One district in one state or one UT. But since this is more of a national initiative to augment the backward districts, that's why it's a central sector scheme. All right. Because state maybe it will be only implemented in one district, mostly, correct? So हाँ, मतलब at least one district from each state, one district from each state. तो पैसा तो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ही देगा ना, ठीक है? Okay, all right. Okay, next we move to digital agriculture mission. Digital agriculture mission. Okay, this is also a very important umbrella scheme of the government, digital agriculture mission. So the aim for this scheme is that the government has recently announced a 6,000 crore plan to strengthen agri-stack. Now, what is agri-stack and what is digital agriculture mission, and what is the difference between the two? Okay. Mission to mission here, it is a digital agriculture mission. The aim of this mission is that we are trying to digitize all the information that we have related to agriculture in the form of data or a database. This database is AgriStack. This database itself is AgriStack, based on which we will get information. Now, what are the different components of AgriStack? If I have to divide the different components of AgriStack, it will be first geo-referenced village maps. Geo-referenced village maps where I get an accurate understanding of land holdings or accurate measurement of land holdings. And second thing I get here is precise location. So my entire village is geo-referenced or geo-map, let's say using Google Maps or any GIS or map-based technology. Okay, where I am exactly plotting where my village is located, each and every field in the village, how is it divided, what is the different measurements. I can corroborate this data with the land records that the district has. Okay, so include that as well as this. So first aspect is related to the village, or you can say the land. The second is the farmers registry. Farmers registry. In the farmers registry, I want to get the information about farmer and his family. Okay, so this will account for all sorts of farmer household data. You can say this is like a demographic profile. And each farmer in this will be given a unique ID. Like we all have Aadhars, Like we all have Aadhaars, similarly every farmer will be given a unique ID so that the farmer can be identified with that particular ID, like Aadhaar-like ID. Okay, so a unique farmer ID will be given. And then the third thing that I'm going to check here is the crop sown registry. So here I'm keeping a tab on what are the different kinds of crops that are sown. When I know what kind of crop is sown on what kind of soil, in how much area, where exactly, I can track my crop production. Okay, so this will help in tracking of crops and crop production. Okay, so this is more of, you can say, this is seasonal crop recording. आपने रबी में उस सेम फील्ड में क्या उगा था वर्सेस खारिफ में उस फील्ड में क्या उगा था. Similarly, mobile based crop survey, I don't have to actually go and visit the crop field to assess what is there on the field. I can simply, through the mobile, the farmer can update the data that this is the crop that I have sown this year, and then that will come in the portal, and then government can see it. Okay, so this is a 3 feature where you are integrating the land records, right, village level data, farmer, as well as the crop, 3-tier data. This entire thing is captured in a database. That database is known as AgriStack. Okay, this database is known as AgriStack. So I can say AgriStack is a digital public good. AgriStack is a digital public good. Okay. Now, using this data, whatever intelligence that I am gathering, whatever decision making that is happening, this is only data. This is only data that is being uploaded by the farmer and government is collecting it. And maybe a farmer ID issued by the government. But using this data, decisions that I am taking is, that is being done under the Krishi decision support system. Okay, so write down Krishi decision support system, where I am using the information that I have gathered from, let's say, weather apps or weather related departments, IMO, etc. Soil, right? Land use and soil fertility. Then crop data, what kind of crop is being grown. I can use satellite imagery and market prices. All this information I can gather from different departments. I can collate it and then I can check whether this crop was grown that year. Was it a good decision weather-wise? Was it a good decision location-wise? All those factors can be checked, and then based on this, I can make decisions for the future that what kind of crop should have been grown, right? So this entire decision making that comes into account is decision support system. So we collect data from multiple sources. We analyze the information using GIS, AI, remote sensing models. We generate actionable insights and recommendations from this, basically using AI machine learning tools. And then finally, whatever insights or recommendations are decided upon, those are advisories which are given to the farmers and the government. Okay, so this is a decision making system. Remember it like this: AgriStack is data and this is a decision making tool. That's a database. That is just data, nothing else. Clear? Okay, apart from this, there is also the nationwide soil resource mapping project. Within this only, within the digital agricultural mission, we have 1, AgriStack, 2, we have this decision support system, and 3rd, we have soil resource mapping project. So using all the same information that we are gathering, we are going to map the different kinds of soils that are there in India, at which place what kind of soil is found, and then you can also link it later to the soil health card scheme, correct? So basically the high resolution satellite maps will be created of the ratio of 1:10,000. All right, and this will be done by the Soil and Land Use Survey of India. Soil and Land Use Survey of India. So when the government is estimating beforehand in a particular year what kind of agricultural production am I going to have, how much production of what kind of crops will be done, because government has to do this in advance in order to plan its MSP activities, buffer stocks. This kind of thing can also be now done digitally without having field inspection or kind of so. So that write down, that is under the digital general crop estimation survey. Digital general crop estimation survey. And this whole process will also provide support to the National Crop Forecasting Center. National Crop Forecasting Center, that is Mahalanobis National Crop Forecasting Center. This National Crop Forecasting Center is a technical partner for Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. So in advance they try to estimate that what are the kind of losses that fasals might have and try to take an estimate. Okay, so based on that now they can use all this AgriStack decision making systems in order to gather the data. Is this clear? Understood? Okay, good. Paramparagat Krishi Yojana is for organic farming. It is dealing with organic farming. Okay. Next write down modified interest subvention scheme. Modified interest subvention scheme. Modified interest subvention scheme. This is again a central sector scheme. It's a central sector scheme. All right. The implementation will be, of course, because we are talking about interest rates, so this will be done by RBI. Okay. RBI and NABARD are the two implementing agencies. So what do we do in modified interest subvention scheme? This is the main tumhara credit card wala scheme, Kisan credit card. What happens in Kisan credit card? The government provides easy, cheap loans or subsidized loans, roughly at 7% or below, to farmers. You've already told me the different purposes for which can be done. And if farmers are promptly repaying also, the interest rates can be further reduced to 3%. All right, 3%. The scheme was introduced, Kisan credit card ke form mein, it was introduced first in 1998, okay? And later on in 2019, we expanded the scope of this scheme to include animal husbandry, dairy, and fisheries. In 2019, the scope of this scheme was expanded. So, yes, eligible beneficiaries for this are owners, correct, and tenants, sharecroppers, even self-help groups, not just individual farmers, but self-help groups, joint lending groups, they are also a part of the beneficiaries. Activities that are supported under this include pre-harvest production के लिए जो भी चाहिए उनको money, seeds करने के लिए, fertilizers, etc. And also for post-harvest, So post-harvest activities such as marketing loans, etc. This is also covered under this scheme. Okay. The calculation of credit limit, how much credit can be given to each farmer, etc. is based on the cropping pattern. What is the farmer growing? How much is he growing? Okay. How many seasons, for example? And then for what purpose is he taking the loan. These are the two criteria which determine the credit limit. Okay, who all can give money under this? No, central government gives money to whom? So how does this function? The bank will pay money to the farmer, bank will give loan to the farmer, right? But at a subsidized rate. So that money which the bank is losing on account of giving it on less interest subsidized rates is given to the bank by the government. All right. And here, what are the different banking agencies that are involved in giving away the loans? RBI is not giving direct loans to farmers, bhai. Who will give loans? Scheduled commercial banks, then regional rural banks, small finance banks, private banks, cooperatives, very good, or okay, so write down the banks which are involved in this. Public sector bank, whether they are private, public sector banks, private sector banks, scheduled commercial banks, small finance banks, PACs, which is primary agricultural credit societies, PACs, okay, RRBs, regional rural banks, and rural cooperative banks, cooperative banks. हाँ, उनके पास शेयर वैसे ही हाईएस्ट है फंड्स का, ठीक है. एंड अगेन द आईटी एस्पेक्ट ऑफ दिस, हाउ वी आर चेकिंग वेयर द मनी इज गोइंग कमिंग, इज डन थ्रू द किसान ऋण पोर्टल. किसान ऋण पोर्टल. Okay. The duration of the scheme is 5 years. Every 5 years, then it undergoes a review. Clear? So this is modified interest subvention scheme. Okay. Next, we go to Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Now let's go to irrigation. Irrigation. These are all schemes in news. This was in news because government has recently approved the modernization of command area development and water management as a sub-scheme of this particular umbrella scheme. Okay, command area development and water management. So what are the different components of this scheme? Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. You named some. First and foremost, we'll start with here. This is the batao full form. Accelerated irrigation benefits program. What is this for? What is this for? Irrigation तो सब भी कर रहे हैं. प्रधानमंत्री कृषि सिंचाई योजना भी इरिगेशन कर रही है, तो उसका ये कंपोनेंट क्या कर रहा है? Now irrigation is not a very basically it's not a standardized term in the sense आपकी रिवर भी इरिगेशन कर रही है, आपका हैंड पंप भी इरिगेशन कर रहा है. इफ यू आर इंस्टॉलिंग अ ड्रिप or a sprinkler irrigation, that's also doing irrigation, but the scale varies, right? So we ultimately need to do it first at a larger scale where we are dealing with rivers or let's say watershed, or you're talking about command area development. So all the larger projects, large to medium projects of irrigation such as Bhakra Nangal Dam, Tehri Dam, okay, all these projects will come under AIPP. So large to medium projects come under this. This is your accelerated irrigation benefit program. Then next level, आपने रिवर से तो पानी ले लिया, फिर हर खेत को पानी. You will give हर खेत को पानी. Okay, this is a, you can understand this is like a, not chronology, but this is like a chain. Okay, so हर खेत को पानी देने के लिए नाउ व्हाट डू वी नीड? नाउ हर खेत को पानी देने के लिए फर्स्ट अगेन वी हैव टू डील विद इट एट अ ब्रॉडर लेवल. सो हर खेत को पानी अगेन हैज some components. Number 1 is command area development and watershed management. Command area development and watershed management. Then you will require some surface minor irrigation work. After this, your agricultural irrigation should be clear once and for all. Okay? Because you know that what are the different levels on which the agricultural irrigation schemes work. नहीं तो it becomes a very hodgepodge. Command area development, एक तो बिल्कुल वो हो गया डैम लेवल पे, आपने भाखड़ा नंगल टहरी बना दिया, जो भी बड़े बड़े डैम्स है. देन आप नीचे लेवल पे आए, यू स्टार्ट addressing a particular area. So let's say you are drawing canals out of them, right? Or you're ensuring that there are pipelines or channels coming from them. For example, Narmada goes through a pipeline, it goes through the Gujarat and Kutch region also. So anything that is basically addressing a larger area. So command area development and watershed management. Wherever rain will fall in that area, where will all the rainwater go? That is a part of watershed management. Second is surface minor irrigation. तो अब you know कि surface में पानी है, कहीं कोई तालाब है, कहीं पे there is a lake or something like that, or a small tributary or a rivulet. How you are managing the water coming from that to the field. So small minor irrigation works like check dams, bunds, etc. They will come under this. Then the third component of this is RRR. Repair, restoration and renovation. Okay? Repair, renovation and restoration. So that means any old existing infrastructure which is there. Surface तो हम कर लिया, उसके बाद any old existing infrastructure which is there locally available, which is not functional, you either repair it, renovate it, or you refurbish it. All right. And finally, the last one is नहीं, हर खेत को पानी. Ultimately, actually इंडिया के सारे खेतों को पानी कहाँ से मिलता है? तालाब से. Ground water भाई. All right. So maximum our agriculture is dependent. Majority share of our agriculture, almost 75 to 80% is dependent on groundwater. Okay. So the third resource that we are exploiting here is groundwater. Okay. Then अब हर खेत को पानी पहुंच गया. You have got water to your farm. Now what is your responsibility as a farmer? To ensure that each and every drop that is reaching you, that you are using or utilizing, should yield maximum output. So that will lead to what? Per drop more crop. PDMC. Per drop more crop. Okay. तो इसके केस में mostly in per drop more crop, what will you do? You will install some local level equipment on your farm itself. Whether it is drip irrigation, whether it is sprinklers, anything that you will do will be only for your specific khet. So this is a cost that you are bearing. यहाँ तक तो government is functioning. यहाँ के बाद this is a cost, this is your private decision, your own decision. So again government has to support the farmer for let's say the equipment that the farmer is putting. So here the government will give the farmer a capital subsidy. A capital subsidy for the equipment or installation or whatever machinery that the farmer decides to put. Okay. There are two ways to do it. First is either the farmer through the DBT route. Farmer says कि मैंने तो लगा लिया अपना पैसा पे करके. I have paid the money, I have brought the sprinklers and I have installed them on my khet. Now government, whatever uska mera remuneration is there, you send it to me through my direct bank transfer account. One way is this. Second is sometimes this infrastructure cost is so high upfront that the farmers cannot afford to buy it on their own, which is why the second mechanism is vendor based. That means what happens here? The farmer will go to the vendor and he will purchase the whatever input this is there, and the farmer will take that equipment and vendor usko de dega at whatever money jo bhi unke decision hai, that you know that percentage, and vendor will give the equipment. Farmer after that vendor will contact the government, and government को कैसे contact करेगा? Whatever sale is happening at this shop, that will be through a POS, right? That will be through a POS or a point of sale. Here, whatever transaction is happening, this will be recorded automatically in the government's database. This will be recorded automatically in the government's database. So the government, on the basis of the sale that the vendor is doing, so of course you need some empaneled vendors for this. ऐसा नहीं है कि farmer किसी के पास भी चला जाए. Farmer has to go to a certain empaneled vendor who is in touch with the government, who is from where the government is collecting the data कि कितनी sales हो रही हैं, क्या हुई, and then depending on the sales, the government pays the vendor. So there are two ways. DBT का एक component है और एक component है where the transfer is going to the vendor. All right. And finally, overall you can say is watershed development. Watershed development is a component again of your Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Watershed development. Okay, here we are focusing through watershed development, we are focusing on dry land, degraded areas, which need special attention. Okay, this is another component, they need special attention. So focus on rain-fed degraded areas, and this is taken care of by the Ministry of Land Resources or Department of Land Resources, Ministry of Rural Development. Department of Land Resources, Ministry of Rural Development. Okay, and how is the money moving on all of this? Again, money is moving apart from this component. Money is generally jitna bhi work ho raha hai, central government se money is going to state government is giving it to their line departments, Department of Irrigation, Agriculture, etc. And from there it is going to the districts or wherever it is being implemented, okay, at the district level. Clear? This is the summary of Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. So you should know which component deals with what. Har khet ko pani is the one which has the major chunk of the projects. ठीक है, ये of course large scale projects के लिए है. Clear? Okay. हाँ, yes. ठीक है. Okay. So we have done this. Okay. Next is Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. This is of course a centrally sponsored scheme. All right. Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana is a centrally sponsored scheme. Okay. जो इसका watershed development वाला component है, that is being implemented by the Ministry of the Department of Land Resources, Ministry of Rural Development. Okay. All right. Next is Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. You all already know the basics that this is for post-harvest crop losses or crop losses due to, so recently it was in news because due to wild animal attacks and paddy inundation from the Kharif 2026 season, for these reasons also it will be included. And animal attacks to khair pehle bhi tha. So financial support to farmers. So the idea is that we want to give financial support to farmers who are suffering from crop losses and damage. And enrollment, this is a voluntary scheme. So not all farmers are required or mandatorily beneficiary. This is a 100% voluntary schemes. Only those farmers which wish to insure their crops, like you said, 1.5% for Kharif, for Rabi, and 2% for Kharif. So those who are doing it, they can approach. And the approach is because this is more of a mostly climate related losses or weather related losses. It has to be done at a cluster level or at an area level. Correct? You cannot go and check every field कि यार तुम्हारी field खराब हो गई क्योंकि बारिश हुई और अगले की because of drought. Makes no sense. Generally there is a same reason why the entire area suffers. So there is an area based approach in which the insuring company, right, they give insurance based on the total area, and the farmer pays a bare minimum premium, 2% or 1.5% depending on the crop, for insuring its crop. So how does the money flow? The money flows where? The money basically flows first from the, so the farmer pays to the insurance company, right, and obviously it is not paying the whole amount, so whatever losses or difference that is there, that difference is paid by the government to the insurer, right, whatever difference is there. Once if there is a loss or if there is any post-harvest issue or whatever, then the insuring company, this in turn will pay back the insurance amount to the farmer. So this is how the money is moving. No. This is on the sum insured, how much insurance they have taken. It's a premium. Insurance में क्या होता है? How does insurance work? Actuarials or the sum insured, whichever is there, whatever sum is insured, not 2% of MSP. It is on the sum insured, whatever is the actuarial rate or whatever amount for which the farmer has done the insurance. ठीक है, तो आपका whenever you take an insurance, let's say you are buying health insurance, or there is a final amount in which you decide ना कि इसका maximum 25 lakhs का insurance है या 1 crore का insurance है, and then on that उसका एक percentage will be the premium that you pay. Okay, clear? All right. For horticultural crops, this is on 5%. 5% of the amount insured. All right. Okay, next. So here this is telling you about what are the different types of damages that are covered inside. So for example, if you could not sow or plant or something because of seasonal conditions, then that is covered. Standing crop protection, that means once you have sown the crop, it has grown, but due to droughts, floods, etc., the crop could not sustain or it could not finally be harvested. Post-harvest losses, so for example, if your crop khade सूख गया, you did not harvest it on time, that will also be covered in this. Hailstorm, cyclones, unseasonal rains, this usually happens for example in the case of western disturbances. Wheat के time पे March, April में जो बारिश हो जाती है, that hampers the post-harvest losses. Then localized calamities, local landslides, hailstorms, which is happening in a localized region. And then of course, wildlife damage. So for example, nilgai and all these are common vermin animals, you can say, who are also affecting the crops or damage. So this is also covered. These are the activities which are insured, against which insurance is given. Okay. What is excluded? War, malicious damage, sabotage. If somebody comes and spoils your crops because of personal issues, then that will not be insured. All right. Nuclear risks and other risks which could have been preventable. These are not included in this. Okay, this we have already discussed. All right. Okay, now see this question which UPSC has asked in 2016. ये तुम्हें आंसर भी दिख रहा है. With reference to Pradhan Mantri Fasal Consider for under this schemes, farmers will have to pay premium at a uniform rate of 2% for any crop. Easy? Okay, and any season, no. The scheme ensures post-harvest losses due to cyclones and unseasonal rains. Yes, answer is 2 only. Easy hai question? Yes, good. Okay. Next scheme we go to is PM Kisan. Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana. So this is actually an abbreviation, not just Kisan. This is an abbreviation which says Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana. वो पहले वाला कौन सा था जो हमने वो पढ़ा था? धन धान्य. धन धान्य is like wealth of grains, and grains कहाँ बढ़ाने? In those 100 low agricultural output districts. This is Kisan Samman. What is Samman in Hindi? What is its English translation? Respect. Okay. So who gets respect in the society? Money. Yes, money brings you respect. Unfortunately, that's the truth. ठीक है? Money can buy almost everything. So yes, it brings respect in the society. So how do you want to make sure that you are respected more? You need more money. That means government will give you money so that you are respected more. ठीक है? But there is a caveat here. Again, you will only get, as a farmer, you will only get some. I'm saying all this, I don't mean it. I'm saying this just so that you remember it, please. Hashtag like star. Okay, conditions apply. So if you want respect in the society as a farmer, who do you think will be more respected? A farmer who's a landowner or the one who's just a sharecropper or a tenant? Landowner. So this scheme is applicable to landowner farmers. Okay, landowners. So Kisan Samman, we are respecting or rather augmenting the respect. Basically, this is like government is trying to respect the farmer. Okay, this is an extra additional supplement income that is coming from the government to the farmer. Basically a fixed amount which is 6,000 rupees every year with nothing but 500 rupees a month, paid in 3 installments of 2,000 each. Okay, this is the, and of course this is going direct benefit to the farmer itself. Uski account mein ja raha hai. So no requirement of the state government, nothing required. So what do you think this will be? A central sector scheme or a centrally sponsored scheme? Sector scheme, because here the government of India is trying to keep all the farmers happy. Basically motivation यही है, ठीक है? So to provide direct income support to all land holding farmer families to meet their basic agricultural and household needs, right? So family does not include, for the purpose of this scheme, does not include parents, relatives, cousins, etc. It only includes husband, wife and minor children only. That's the family that they take into account. Plus, the farmer has to be a land holding farmer, correct? It's a central sector scheme. And then beneficiary identification, but has to be done by state and UT. Obviously, central government cannot do it. So, Gram Sabha, district level pe it is decided. And you can register yourself through the PM Kisan portal, mobile app, or through the common service centers that are there in the rural areas. Correct? Land records are mandatory in most of the places. For example, let's say Jharkhand or some places where there are issues, wahan pe exceptions chhod ke land record is mandatory because this is only for land holding farmers. Correct? These benefits, they are of course eligible for Kisan Credit Card. Kisan Credit Card to khair sabko hi allow karta hai, okay? And the requirement is you should have Aadhaar authentication, you should have income tax verification. Why? Because those who have paid income tax are not eligible for this. So there are exceptions to this. Let's see the exceptions once. Those who are not included in this. Here are the exceptions. Institutional landholders. Can you see this? Institutional landholders. So for example, organizations, sugar mills हो गया, companies हो गया, educational institutions हो गया, anybody who has agricultural land does not automatically become a farmer. So they are exempted from this. Those who have paid income tax, that means they have डिसेंट अमाउंट ऑफ इनकम, क्योंकि एग्रीकल्चरल इनकम तो वैसे ही एग्जेम्प्टेड है, करेक्ट. तो दे हैव अदर सोर्सेज ऑफ इनकम, सो दे आर नॉट एलिजिबल फॉर दिस. Professionals, doctors, engineers are already out. Serving or retired government officials, they are out. Former or present MPs, MLAs, because most of our MPs and MLAs like to show themselves as farmers. And unfortunately, a lot of Bollywood celebrities are also farmers. Their children are also farmers in India, right? So all of them are exempted. They won't get this 6,000, as if they care. And pensioners who are receiving a pension of more than rupees 10,000 per month, they are also exempted from this scheme. Okay. So recently, ये news में क्यों था? Because recently government released the 21st installment. 9 crore farmers were given 18,000 crores. I wonder where all this money is going. Anyway, okay. Sorry. ये क्या हो गया? Okay. क्या बोलूँ मैं इस पे अब? बताओ. तुम बताओ मेरा क्या टिप्पणी होना चाहिए इस पे? सम्मान की बात तो करते हैं. यू आर राइट. हाँ, यू आर राइट. यू आर एब्सोल्युटली राइट. Something went wrong. One second. We'll open it again. But वो तब भी यही आएगा, पता है? Image तो ठीक है, but वो हमारी slides कहाँ गई? Okay, so here we were at PM Kisan. Fine. So this is simple किसान सम्मान. और वो क्या था? प्रधानमंत्री किसान धन धान्य. ठीक है. और एक और है, which is what? प्रधानमंत्री किसान मान धन योजना. ठीक है. हम मान सम्मान की बातें बहुत ज्यादा हो रही हैं, बट हम इसको विल ट्राई टू सिंप्लीफाई टू अंडरस्टैंड द डिफरेंस. सम्मान मैंने तुमको अच्छे से बता दिया. सम्मान इज रिस्पेक्ट. रिस्पेक्ट किसकी होगी? लैंड होल्डर्स की. लैंड होल्डर्स को मिलेगा 6,000. ठीक है. अब मान इज व्हाट? सम्मान इज रिस्पेक्ट. व्हाट इज मान? स्वाभिमान नहीं, मान, ओनली मान. Man is dignity. Man is dignity. So when you become old and frail, your teeth have gone, you're unable to walk, ठीक है? Your children have abandoned you, right? That's unfortunately what happens. But whenever something like that happens, so the farmer is obviously, because agriculture is a very laborious job, the farmers are required to be in the field and they cannot continue doing it all lifelong. So the farmers are the ones who actually need the pension the most. So this is for maan, this is for the dignity of the farmers in order to, so that they can function even in their old age in spite of their physical challenges. That is your maan dhan yojana. Clear? So what do they get? Here in this case, there is no requirement for landholder. Nahi, theek hai? Any farmer, whether it is a sharecropper, tenant, or whether it is a landholder. What they get will be 3,000 per month. 3,000 per month pension after the age of 60 years when they become senior citizens. But for that, they have to make some contribution also. Pension to free mein sarkar nahi degi, right? So basically the contributory scheme. So when the farmers are of 18 to 40 years of age, when they are between this age group, they can make some monthly contribution towards their pension scheme. And then finally, when this turns 60, they will start receiving the pension and in the form of rupees 3,000 per month. Okay. Again, because this is a contributory scheme, this is voluntary. Not everybody will be a part of it. Correct? This PM Kisan is not necessarily voluntary. It is applicable nationwide, but at the same time, it depends on whether the farmer is a landholder or not. And here, dhan dhanya, ye to hai hi bilkul hi alag. This is production. So the difference between the schemes is you produce, you pay, and here you get pension. This is production based. Dhan dhanya. Kisan Samman is, yes, is payment, right, for supplementing their current income. And this Mandhan, which is to dignity, to maintain the dignity of the farmer, is Mandhan Yojana. Okay. So again, all the schemes are implemented by Ministry of Agriculture. This is more of a social protection scheme for age-old security and long-term support to farmers. And this is specially for small and marginal farmers. Clear? Now you know the difference among all of these? Okay. 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 One more Kisan-based scheme, but this is under Ministry of Food Processing. So make a separate heading for this, Ministry of Food Processing. This is the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana. Again, the name is very confusing. That's why all the schemes have been put together. Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana. What is Sampada in English? Wealth. Can I say wealth, or can I say that is equal to resources? Okay. Sampada से हमको याद रखना है. संपत्ति टाइप याद कर लो, या resources याद कर लो, या wealth याद कर लो. Okay. So it has something to do with resources. So this is when your production, whether it is agriculture, whether it is horticulture, food, grains, flowers, anything, when that starts acting like a resource and you are utilizing it for further food processing, increasing it, adding more value to it in the value chain, that is when you get into Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana. Alright. So Cabinet has recently approved an outlay of 6,500 crores for the ongoing Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada. Sampada resources equal to Ministry of Food Processing. The idea, and this is again a central sector scheme. This is again a central sector scheme. So the aim is that we want to double the farmers' income. वो तो खैर national target हमारा है ही. And how are we going to do it? We are going to encourage food processing industries. How are we going to do it? We are going to do it through, let's say, mega food parks, correct? We are going to establish integrated cold chain and value addition infrastructure. Now, all those silos we saw for agriculture initially, उसमें food processing में ये वाला आएगा, Sampada Yojana. All right. This Sampada scheme, it was earlier named as Sampada scheme, that is scheme for agro-marine processing and development of agro-processing clusters in 2017, implemented till 2020. Then it was subsequently renamed as Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana. All right. Now, what are some of the firms, companies, cooperatives, SHGs, FPOs or farmer producer organizations, NGOs, PSUs, they are all beneficiaries under the scheme, and they can install or they can bring about this value addition infrastructure, cold chain technologies, storage, ये सारी facilities, processing units इनको जो करे. Initially the scheme, like I told you, was on the lines of Operation Flood, which is for milk. This was for tomato, onion and potato, top crops. We have changed that from top to total. That means total is about around 22 crops. All right, so we are going to include them. बॉर्न कन्वेंशन कहाँ से आ गया? नहीं, कोई लिंक नहीं है. ठीक है. ऑल राइट, तो हम एग्रो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर क्रिएट करेंगे सिमिलर टू मेगा फूड पार्क्स. So at least 10 acres of land is required even if you are setting up a small scale food processing unit, and then food processing preservation capacities, existing unit को अगर अपनी capacity increase करनी है, they will also be given capital subsidy on this. All right, again implementation agencies वो है. So once the product has been developed, there has to be quality check. आपने wheat की bread बना दी, the bread has to be quality checked, jams बनाए, correct, cornflakes बनाए, all that has to be checked for quality. So again FSSAI will also have a role to play in this. So those certifications will be given under food safety and quality assurance infrastructure. So currently Quality Council of India, this is the body which is following the globally accepted codex standards, and based on these codex standards we are implementing two India GHP and India HACCP, that is hazard analysis critical control point for high risk sectors such as meat, fish, dairy, ठीक है, जिसमें बहुत जल्दी इन्फेक्शन और रादर यू कैन से एंटीबायोटिक्स ये सब का यूज होता है. सो फॉर दैट these are the standards that are used, and good hygienic practices are standard hygienic practices followed in the food industry. They both have been developed by the Quality Council of India on the basis of international standards, codex standards, and these are applied in India. करेक्ट. स्टैंडर्ड्स वही है, नाम चेंज कर दिया हमने, जैसे हम करते हैं, हम यूरो 3 का भारत स्टेज 3 कर देते हैं, सेम कॉन्सेप्ट. ऑलराइट, ओके, एंड yeah, that's it. So human resource institutions, R&D projects will also be encouraged under this. So basically overall what you're doing is you're encouraging the agro processing industries. You will, what all is components are there? Mega food parks, you can see integrated cold chain, you can see food processing, preservation capacity of existing units will be increased, agro processing clusters will be there, and food safety and quality assurance. These are the small components under this. Financial assistance कैसे देंगे? Capital, credit linked capital subsidy. So almost 20% of the eligible project cost जितना है up to let's say 2 crores और तक का एक amount तक ही दे सकते हैं, right? And 35% for let's say northeastern states and Himalayan states. Viability gap funding 35% to projects. Interest subvention loans will be given on lesser interest rates, 3% per annum for loans up to 2 CR for 5 years, and of course a common cluster based approach for infrastructure. So this is again talks about mega food processing units. Clear? So more or less iska wahi hai, you just have to see who all are the beneficiaries in this. And this is a which scheme? Central sector or centrally sponsored? This is again a central sector scheme. All right, this is again a central sector scheme. All right. So with this we have come to an end of the agriculture schemes. Okay, schemes in agriculture. Let's answer this question. ठीक है, ओके. नेक्स्ट, टू करेक्ट है, क्यों नहीं है? ऑल फार्मर, ऑल फार्मर्स पे गलत हो रहा है. डायरेक्ट टैक्स जा ही नहीं रहा, उसमें कोई ट्रैश ट्रांसफर है ही नहीं. इट्स सबस्यूमिंग 36 स्कीम्स बेसिकली इंक्लूडिंग, yes, you're augmenting agricultural production in those 100 districts. Okay, dhan dhanya, good. Next. तो easy है. This is easy, right? Okay. Answer this. B और A बिल्कुल opposites. अभी तो हमने डिस्कस किया था ये, सेकंड करेक्ट है? नो, इट डज इंक्लूड एलाइड एक्ट. अभी तो मैंने बताया था 2019 से वी इंक्लूडेड दीज एक्टिविटीज एज वेल. करेक्ट. शॉर्ट टर्म क्रेडिट टू फार्मर्स, यस, वो एग्रीकल्चरल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फंड स्कीम है लॉन्ग टर्म क्रेडिट की. ओके. प्रॉम्प्ट रीपेमेंट विल गिव यू मोर बेटर रेट्स, 3% के करीब. ओके, वेल डन, गुड जॉब. लेट्स मूव टू mines, minerals. All right, we've done agriculture. Okay. So we're starting with the coal ministry. There is only one scheme given under this, which is the scheme for harnessing and allocating koila transparently in India. Okay, which is the Shakti. Shakti एक वो Shakti Act आया है, which is related to nuclear. Shanti Act. So just don't confuse this Shakti with that Shanti. Okay, this is Shakti policy. Plus this is a policy. This is not an act. That is a act. Okay, all right. So India's coal sector achievements. Roughly, what is the importance of coal sector for India? We are still very much, almost 47% of our coal is still used for electricity generation. 47% of the electricity that is there in India is generated using coal. Okay, so we are still heavily dependent on coal for when it comes to coal production. Now, generally, if you see, these are some of the achievements. Last year we had the highest coal production, okay, in the last year, 24-25, which increased by almost 5%, all right. And captive and commercial mines are also being exploited to the tune of 200 million tons, metric tons, okay. And you can say these are some of the achievements of the coal ministry. Generally, coal, if I talk about, this is again, these are some of the schemes, major schemes being implemented by the coal ministry. So you can see the production and supply growth statistics. Coal demand, 55% of our primary commercial energy comes from coal. When I say primary energy, I also mean I'm directly using coal for generation of any sort of heat or energy. That means maybe even if I'm cooking on coal, that is primary energy. But what is not primary? When I'm using coal to produce electricity in a thermal power plant, and that is a different form of energy. Primary energy means I am directly using coal also as a source. Secondary would mean that I'm using coal to generate electricity, and then I'm using that electricity to, let's say, cook food. Okay. So captive and commercial mining, we have seen this, and currently we are still dependent on coal on a very heavy manner. Now, coal generally in India, like I told you, is used for power creation, right, or electricity generation. How does this format work? What exactly happens? Earlier, we had a policy in which Coal India Limited, which is the main body which deals with mining and, you know, taking care of the coal in India, they were responsible for providing coal to Gencos, which are generation companies. Okay. So earlier when this coal was provided to Gencos or generation companies, this was under the new coal distribution policy that came about in 2007. Okay. So Coal India Limited used to give coal to Gencos or generation companies on certain conditions and criteria. They had certain conditions that we will give you coal only if you meet certain conditions. All right. So what were some of those conditions? For example, your financial sheets should be okay. Your project should be ready for implementation. Correct? For example, you should have already had a PPA, that is power purchasing agreement with a DISCOM. What is a DISCOM? Distribution company. So there are generating companies which are thermal power plants. They are generating the electricity. They are distributing companies or distribution discoms which basically purchase electricity from thermal power plants and then provide last mile connectivity. Correct? So Gencos, so Coal India Limited had certain conditions कि अगर आपका पहले से ही एक PPA है, you have a power purchasing agreement by the discom and you are definitely going to use the coal that we will provide to you, then I will give you coal. This was the condition. So with certain conditions, this thing was happening. Now, what was happening here? This mechanism was definitely transparent because you knew कि हाँ ये coal generate कर रहा है, इतनी electricity करेगा, because it already has a power purchasing agreement, तो ये coal definitely use होगा. This process was transparent, but this was not flexible. This process was not flexible. Why? एक बार इसका agreement इसके साथ हो गया, correct? तभी उसको coal मिलेगा, तो that means whatever electricity this Genco is producing has to be sold to this particular discom. उसके पास option ही नहीं रहा. Normally, what is the steps of production? Any industry which is producing something gathers the raw material, produces their product, and then decides कि मुझे किस market में भेजना है, depending on the highest output I get. Here, the market was decided first, and then based on which the raw material was given. So this is a very inflexible sort of mechanism. So to deal with this or to overcome the challenges that we saw in the earlier new coal distribution policy of 2007, now the government has come up with this new policy, which is the Shakti policy. That is a scheme for harnessing and allocating koila in a transparently in India. Okay, so this is how it used to be done earlier. एक लेटर ऑफ अश्योरेंस कोल इंडिया लिमिटेड देता था कि मैं तुम्हें अश्योर कर रहा हूं थर्मल पावर प्लांट को कि मैं तुम्हें कोयला दूंगा, एंड बिफोर हैंड द प्राइस वाज डिसाइडेड कि इस प्राइस पे कोयला दूंगा, these will be the terms and conditions, and when the conditions were fulfilled by the particular discom, then a final agreement was signed. Okay, so for example उसका PPA हो गया किसी discom के साथ, then the final agreement will be signed, which was known as the fuel supply agreement. So this process was known as LOA FSA, letter of assurance fuel supply agreement. This process was known as LOA FSA arrangement. ठीक है, where you needed पहले एक LOA होगा, पहले एक basic sort of assurance, yes I will give you coal, don't worry, you start your production, आप खड़ा करो अपना thermal power plant. ठीक है, then conditions will be met and then they say कि okay now let me give you fuel. So the thermal power plant were dependent on Coal India's mercy for availability of coal. So we have changed that. We changed that to an auction based mechanism. अब हमने बोला कि Coal India Limited will auction coal. If you want coal, no matter what you do, like not what you do, but where you sell your electricity with it, that will be is your prerogative. I am selling you coal at a premium charge. Okay, so this is basically what is the Shakti initiative. So if you see the difference between the two, allocation was, here the allocation was on fuel supply agreement basis, linkage, कि आपका बन गया है link, तो आपने agreement से उसको दे दिया. Here the allocation is based on auction. Okay, this was more on nomination basis कि ठीक है उसका linkage बन गया, उन्होंने एक agreement किया and then they gave it. There, this is purely on the basis of auction. Second is this process was relatively discretionary. Coal India officials की मर्जी है किसको दें किसको नहीं दें. They can stop any industry, right? Any thermal power plant. Here it is transparent, competitive, and rule based. Correct? Because it is happening publicly. The auction is happening publicly. Anybody can bid for it, and whoever is paying a premium more will be eligible for it. So this is a more transparent and more flexible mechanism. Here this eligibility was limited to domestic coal-based power plants. That means only those power plants which were already using coal from India, domestic coal, were eligible for this scheme. Now we are allowing those coal-based power plants which are importing coal also. Some thermal power plants are also importing coal to run. तो उनको भी अब eligible कर दिया है. You are also eligible to participate in the auction or bidding process under the new Shakti scheme. Okay. Next, this had less flexibility. This has greater flexibility in utilization, whatever the company wants to do with that coal, correct? And outcome is that there were inefficiencies, there was lack of transparency, limited competition, there was more red tapeism here because it was more or less in the hands of the officials. Here, it is transparent, it is efficient, and it is competitive. And there will be more reliable supply because why? I have bid in the process, I am ready to pay a premium. Now, Coal India Limited is bound to give me coal, and that will ensure my steady supply of coal. Clear? So, this is regarding Shakti policy. If you can see here, this is it. Okay? Now, earlier kya tha? Earlier Coal India Limited, under the earlier set of schemes, they used to divide the whole different industries onto different categories. One second. Is it here? They used to divide it on the basis of different categories. So, for example, some would be thermal power plants, some would be some other kind of plants. So, they had divided the different industries. Ki hum thermal power plant ko de rahe hain, we are giving it to some mining company, something. They were divided into 8 categories, the beneficiaries. Here, there is no categorization of beneficiaries. We are not dividing the beneficiaries on any category except that we have a 2-window allocation system. What is the 2-window allocation system? First, we will give preference to government PSUs. That means those thermal power plants or generation companies which are either central government or state government. Okay? And this is on the basis of recommendations from the Ministry of Power. So, priority will be given to the state-based, that is either center or state-based, that means government-based thermal power plants or generation companies. For second window is simple auctioning. Okay, this is on a premium auction window. So, anybody who is giving a premium above the notified prices, here Coal India Limited is selling at the notified price. Here in the second window where auction is taking place, basically for you can say more of the private players, you pay a premium and you take the coal. Clear? So, what was earlier divided into 8 categories has now been done into 2 simple window processes under the new Shakti policy. Clear? You can purchase coal. Usme also time limit was there. कि आप 5 साल के लिए ही coal का agreement करेगा पहले Coal India. Now you can purchase coal or have long term as well as short term contracts. You can either have a contract for 12 months or 1 year, and that can go up to 25 years. So you can have a contract with Coal India Limited for 25 years of supply of coal. This flexibility is also provided. And what is the outcome? What is the benefit that comes with this? The most important is, of course, there is an increase in the domestic production of coal, correct? There is less reliance on import substitution, self-sufficiency, and the most important thing is that when they are selling coal to central and state cogens, right, generation companies, this is at a notified price. So this means the prices of power will also go down. When coal will be sold at a certain notified price, the prices of power, that is the electricity generated from it, will also go down. And ultimately the aim of the government is that electricity sold to the consumers, the retail consumers, should also cost less. So this is also one of the outcomes of the program. कि जो ultimately बिजली बन रही है वो थोड़ी सस्ती बने, so that consumers are paying less. Clear? So this is regarding the Shakti policy. Okay. So you want to write this down or done? नहीं शक्ति पॉलिसी तो अभी नहीं ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Okay, clear? Now see this question which UPSC asked in coal. Coal sector was nationalized by the government of India. Till now, coal-based blocks are allocated on a lottery base. Do you really think this can happen? A lottery is like कि किसी का भी luck निकल गया. Can we have it ever on luck basis? Makes no sense. कि chits डाली भी हाँ तुम बनाओ बिजली. Makes no sense. Obviously, second is wrong. Second is wrong. These two are eliminated. Till recently, India imported coal to meet the shortage of domestic supply, but now India is self-sufficient in coal production. No, India still imports 20 to 25% of its coal needs are satisfied with domestic production except coking coal. What is coking coal? हाँ, ज़्यादा content उसका होता है. Yes. But what is the speciality of coking coal? Yes. It also fuses to become coke. Okay, so it acts like a reducing agent in steel plants. So it reduces Fe2O3, that is iron oxide, in steel plants to metallic iron. So coking coal is used in steel manufacturing. And India is heavily dependent on imports. Majority of coking coal in India comes from imports. We do not have coking coal. Clear? So this is coal. यही पूछा था यूपीएससी ने. This is also another question. See this? Is the first statement correct? China can do this, we can't. China can still afford to do this, we can't, okay? So we save its own coal reserves for future and import? No, we already have a very high fiscal, or rather you can say burden, right? Current account deficit, trade deficit, is already very high. Next, most of the power plants in India are coal-based and they are not able to get sufficient supplies of coal from within the country. Yes, तुम्हारा one eliminate हो गया तो वैसे ही answer आ गया है, but anyway. Steel companies need a larger quantity of coking coal which has to be imported. This is also correct. Clear? नीलामी ऑक्शन होता है. लॉटरी क्या होता है? मैंने 4 पर्चियां डाली और कोई भी उठा ली. पर्ची डलती है क्या तुम्हारे गांव में? नहीं ना, ठीक है. नीलामी इज ऑक्शन. Okay, next, revised Shakti policy. Very good. Second is wrong because notified prices पे किसके लिए है? Central and state gencos के लिए. For independent power producers, it is on the basis of premium rates or auctions. Okay. Tell this. फर्स्ट तो है, सेकंड भी है, थर्ड भी हमने बोला था. दिस इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द अर्लियर मॉडल एंड नाउ, दैट इंपोर्ट बेस्ड coal power plants are also now there. Coal trading companies engaged in resale. Are we giving coal for this, for resale, for trading? No, this is for power generation. So fourth is not correct. Answer is 1, 2 and 3 only. Good. Okay, so this is the difference. Ek bari you can just go through this again later whenever you find time. It's one and the same thing. All right. Okay. These were the different categories under the earlier policy. Okay. New projects, old projects, captive plants, import coal-based projects, fertilizers, etc., etc. All these were the earlier categories. They are now done away with. Now we have only 2-window system. Okay. Next, let's go to the Ministry of Petroleum. Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. Okay. Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. Let's see the achievements of this ministry in the last 1 year. What have they done? The main job of this ministry, Petroleum and Natural Gas, is to ensure both upstream and downstream linkages of petroleum, natural gas, crude oil and other fossil fuels, okay, other than coal. So for example, they will be responsible for exploration, they will be responsible for extraction, refining, and then finally providing last mile connectivity. The main schemes here that they are functioning on, first is clean cooking for all. The main aim is that clean cooking fuel, because most of the rural women in India are struggling with fuel, unclean fuel such as wood mass or let's say gobar or straw and these kind of fuels which cause indoor air pollution and have a negative health impact. So for this we have a Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, what is in news is 2.0 version which has been launched recently. Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, the idea is to provide LPG connections, okay, LPG connections without too many conditions. Without too many conditions मतलब कि आपको एक upfront उसमें security deposit नहीं देना है. And this is primarily for the health of women. So LPG connection will be given to women in households. All right, this is Ujjwala Yojana. So the eligibility has been simplified and subsidy will also be given for let's say a 14 kg cylinder, for a 19 kg cylinder, etc. Subsidy will also be given. So this is generally for women for clean fuel production. Next is consumer safety. Consumer safety is the next scheme that is generally functioning here. So the idea is to raise awareness on how to use LPG cylinders, inspection, conduct free safety inspections at the premises or houses of the customers, and replace the old LPG hoses, right? The regulators, and replace them at discounted rates. So the idea is so that there is safety related to LPG. The third scheme that they are functioning on is fuel retail infrastructure. That means petrol pumps, ये जितने भी fuel retail infrastructure बन रहे हैं, इसको improve करना, to improve the petrol pumps. So they have improved them with digital payments so that the money can be tracked, cash transactions can be minimized, POS terminals hai. Then under Swachh Bharat mission, there are proper toilet facilities, drinking water facilities, etc., which are provided at the petrol pumps. This is the third important component. Fourth that this ministry is working is on EV charging or multi-fuel expansion. That means you are not limited to just petrol and diesel, but multi-fuel expansion and clean fuels like CNG, PNG and EV charging, correct? Electric vehicles. So wherever you can provide electric vehicles, again this is in club with the FAME scheme, right, of Government of India, which is related to electric vehicles. And then Apna Ghar initiative, a small Apna Ghar initiative is a subset of this which deals with wayside for truckers, right, truck drivers who are unable to get proper sleeping or housing or those kind of facilities, to provide them amenities. Apna Ghar initiative has also been launched by this ministry under this particular scheme. Okay. Apart from this, the aim of the scheme, the ministry, is to expand the gas-based economy. So they have increased the pipeline, the gas pipeline, which was around 15,000 kilometers in 2014, and we have increased it to about 25.5 thousand kilometers in 10 years. All right, another 10,500 kilometers are in execution, and the aim is one nation, one gas grid and one tariff. So unified tariff has also been implemented since April 2023. All right. Apart from this, city gas distribution expansion, this is again for PNG domestic connections, CNG. So this is basically dealing with natural gas. So again, geographical areas have been identified where this supply has to reach, PNG as well as CNG. Next is biofuels and clean energy progress. So this ministry, we are dealing with ethanol blending of petrol. So currently we are blending about 20% of ethanol with petrol. So E20 target we have already achieved ahead of time, through which we have saved about 1.5 lakh crore rupees of importing the fuel. SATAT initiative, which is dealing with compressed biogas gas. Basically this is for affordable transport. So maybe using compressed biogas in public transport like buses, etc. And of course, we also have sustainable aviation fuel. Recently, the government has come up with the blending targets. So by 2027, we will blend 1% in sustainable aviation fuel in the aviation turbine fuel, ATF, which is normally used, 2% in 2028, and by 2030, the target is to have 5% sustainable aviation fuel blended with aviation turbine fuel. So this is the related to clean processes. Upstream reforms, that means when it comes to extraction, etc. So here government has come up with the Oil Fields Regulation and Development Amendment Act. This is also very important. Please go through the provisions of this. 172 exploration blocks have been awarded and around 4.3 billion investment has been done in this. All right. Mission Anveshan has been launched to accelerate exploration and boost domestic production. Okay, these are some of the important, and of course you have the strategic petroleum reserves. Strategic petroleum reserves are what? Huge, large-scale reserves or tanks which are underground, and which basically store crude oil or petroleum for us, right? So, for example, we just recently saw in this Iran case where India was unable to import crude oil as frequently, and we had to rely on strategic petroleum reserves. If we talk about how much strategic reserves do we have, it can roughly support 10 to 15 days of the supply. If you also include all the oil marketing companies, almost all the oil that they have, you can say we have about 20 to 30 days of reserves at any given point in time. All right, that's it. Okay, so let's talk about this scheme specifically. Okay, just one more thing before we proceed. Under this ministry, there is a very important regulatory board, which is the Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board. Okay, so they deal with it is a regulatory body which deals with petroleum and natural gas. It was established under the PNGRB Act 2006 in 2006, and it works under the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. The main issue is that it ensures that natural gas transmission pipelines are laid. It is responsible for laying them, for checking on the tariffs, how much tariffs should be there, city gas distribution networks, LNG, CNG, all that come under this, okay, this particular body, this regulatory body. And approximately 25,000 kilometers of pipeline we already have when it comes to natural gas. So the head office for this body is in Delhi, Gurugram, basically. Okay, now just see this one question and then we'll go back to the policy scheme. First कौन सी है? Which is the first regulatory body to be set up in India? Post-independence era. Purely regulatory. हाँ, it is. RBI is also regulatory, but purely for regulation purpose only. It is TRAI, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. Right? That is the first one. Okay, one of the tasks of this is to ensure competitive gas markets, because tariffs और उन सबको price determination भी देखता है, तो yes. And appeals against the decision of this go to the appellate tribunal, yes. So under the Electricity Act 2003, all the appeals against the decision of this particular regulatory board go to the tribunal, electricity tribunal. Okay, this is correct. So first he eliminate hoke, you are actually arriving at the answer. So again, this was an easy question. Okay, let's go back to the scheme. Sorry, here. So the scheme that we are talking about is Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana. Again, this is, like I told you, this is for the health of women. So only women, this is again a central sector scheme, and only women who have attained 18 years of age are eligible to take a household connection of LPG, right? And the women should belong to low income families, all right? Not all, but low income families. So there are certain categories through which we can identify them. I'll come to that later. The idea is you should have deposit free. Security deposit na dena pade. You don't have to give any deposit. Just come and take the LPG collection, and even the LPG cylinders that will be given at a subsidized rate. वो तो खैर वैसे भी government करता ही है, okay? So what is the enrollment? Enrollment can be, you can show, this can be, you don't have to give a proof of address, so you don't have to belong there, just by showing your KYC, filling KYC, Aadhaar, even if you're a migrant laborer coming to some city, here also you can take a connection, all right? This is Ujjwala scheme. And a cash assistance is generally given of rupees 1600 for a 14 kg cylinder, targeted subsidy. What are the exclusions under this, or you can say those, how do you identify the beneficiaries under this? So first of all, women you can identify from the socio-economic caste census, SC/ST households, then Pradhan Mantri Gramin Yojana, right? Then Antodaya Anna Yojana, which started at the time of COVID, right? Yes, then most backward classes, forest dwellers, again those who do not have proper records, or let's say land records, residents of islands, river islands, tea gardens and ex-tea garden tribes, and other poor families. These are all the ones, beneficiaries, who are identified under this scheme, Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana. And this scheme has in fact has been applauded by the International Energy Agency and the World Health Organization for improving the health of women. So the main target is women because they use unclean fuel for cooking purposes in rural areas. All right. Okay. Next, we go to Ministry of Mines. Ministry of Mines. There's only one scheme under this. We go to Ministry of Mines. Okay. Ministry of Mines, there is a newly launched scheme which is the Critical Mineral Recycling Incentive Scheme. Critical Mineral Recycling Incentive Scheme. This is nothing but a subset of National Critical Mineral Mission. Okay. So पहले हम National Mission पढ़ेंगे and then we'll understand the scheme. All right. So let's start with National Critical Mission. What are critical minerals? What are critical minerals? Yes, but what is the factor? What are the two factors that distinguish critical minerals from other minerals? Yeah, at the back. They are critical to present day government. Chalo, okay. Economy, okay. Or? And? So basically there are two criteria which you have said. One is economic importance. Like you said, it's important for current day modern technologies, modern era technologies. So whether we talk about photovoltaic cells, whether we talk about semiconductors, whether we talk about anything, yes, so all nuclear technologies, everywhere. So these are very, very important for the upcoming technologies. Second is they are also critical because they are not available in abundance. And they are located in a few pockets of the world. For example, you have the ABC triangle in South America, which stands for Argentina, Bolivia and Chile. Okay, so yes, supply risk is limited. These are the two factors which makes them critical minerals. They can be used in electric vehicles, they are used in wind turbines, solar panels, electronics, defense systems, drones, missiles, etc. So all these technologies, so they have an impact on clean energy transition if we want to move to a carbon neutral regime. Then national security, it is very important. It is very important for infrastructure, important for advanced technologies like artificial intelligence, etc. Everywhere that you can think of, we need critical minerals. So what are the different examples of critical minerals? Lithium, cobalt, nickel, right? How many critical minerals have we identified in India? What are those? Do we know all? It's okay. I am just giving this here. So download the PPT and then you can see the list whenever you have time. Just one glance so that you're able to, if at all UPSC asks you a question, because UPSC has been asking which of these are minor minerals and major minerals. So they can ask critical minerals also. Clear? Okay. Recently, very recently in February 2026, India joined a, you can say a collaboration of countries. Yes, what is the name? Pax Silica. What is Pax Silica for? It is a US-led initiative for ensuring a smooth supply or stabilizing the supply chain of critical minerals. And UPSC last year asked a question on critical mineral partnership, mineral security partnership. Answer this question first, then we'll proceed. All 1 and 3. Second, India is a resource-rich country. Definitely not. At least not with critical minerals. Okay, unfortunately, we are not blessed there. So yes, we are a deficient, critical mineral deficient country. Now, can you tell me, you answered Pax Silica and Mineral Security Partnership. Can you tell me the difference between these two alliances? What is the difference between Pax Silica and Mineral Security Partnership? Both are led by which country? US. Both are led by US. Sorry? Ulta. You're saying the opposite. Pax Silica. Pax means peace, stabilize. Silica, silicon. Pax Silica means I am stabilizing my supply of silicon. Correct? Ab yaad rahega? That means I'm only talking about the raw material. Mineral Security Partnership, on the other hand, talks about the full broad end of technologies. So if you have to see the difference between the two, this is the difference. Pax Silica will talk about technology, minerals, entire ecosystem. And Mineral Security Partnership is dealing with the minerals. Clear? Understood? So, no, okay, that is anyways for the scheme. Yeah. So look at this. Both are USA led. Critical Mineralship Partnership started in 2022. And whereas this Pax Silica was launched last year in 2025, which India happened to join this year in February during the AI Summit, correct, which we hosted. The whole objective of both these is what? Both these is here, you again, the main aim is to focus on the minerals so that you are securing the minerals and you want to reduce the might, or you can say the hegemony of China in this. On the other hand, here, Pax Silica, we are talking about technologies, AI ecosystems, semiconductors, chips, digital infrastructure, everything. So this is again trying to limit China's role in these technologies, but for the entire broad bandwidth of different technologies available. Correct? So this is not just related to minerals, this is with chips, AI, digital infrastructure. Correct? And here this is related to minerals. So securing the raw materials. Okay, clear? So just remember it like this. MSP is raw ingredients, and packed silica means you are controlling the entire, you can say not just the raw material, but the entire chain of this thing. Okay. Now the question, the scheme that we have to study, the broad scheme that we have to study is National Critical Minerals Partnership. Critical minerals, you know, we have identified 30 critical minerals in India. What are rare earths and how are they different from critical minerals? Are all rare earths critical minerals? Then critical mineral is a term which is given by a government to identify certain minerals as critical. It is a governance based term. Okay, that means India के critical minerals अलग होंगे, US के अलग होंगे, France के अलग होंगे, Ukraine के अलग होंगे. So this is a governance based term. Rare earth elements on the other hand are proper elements which are identified scientifically as rare earth elements. Clear? So critical minerals is different there. Now under the National Critical Mission, we are obviously trying to secure the entire chain of or the supply of critical minerals in India, which means either we boost the domestic production or we increase our asset acquisition abroad. Okay, that means we are trying to have more contracts or MOUs with different countries, or we are trying to gain access to different, let's say, mines abroad. So that is related to import. So for example, recently if you see, recently in February, India had an MOU with Brazil for critical minerals. Okay, and again, time and again, government has emphasized that we need to acquire critical mineral assets abroad, so that and so critical mineral इतना कम है दुनिया में कि इंडिया में तो वैसे ही नहीं है, तो we cannot rely on domestic production. या तो abroad में asset acquire करो, mines को acquire करो, where you get all the critical minerals, or whatever critical minerals are getting generated through e-waste, you recycle them and again use them for future technologies. So now the government has launched a scheme which is emphasizing on the recycling element, all right, which is what we are going to study now. So this is the National Critical Mineral Mission. You either ensure long-term mineral supply, reduce import dependence, have Atmanirbhar Bharat on critical minerals, and support all these technologies. What are the different steps or full value chain in critical minerals? You have exploration, explore the mines. You actually extract minerals from there. Third is beneficiation, which means you improve the quality of that mineral. Okay. Then processing, converting it into medium term or intermediate value products like semiconductors, etc. And then finally use that into a main product. And then when the product like laptops and phones, they reach the end of their life cycle, become e-waste, then you again recycle that to draw more critical minerals from that and reuse them. So this is the more or less the life cycle. Now let's see what is the what are the components of national critical mineral. Like I said, domestic production should be increased, assets should be acquired abroad, and third is you recycle what you have. Apart from that, you increase your scientific research and technological development so that we can improve our capacity in this. Technologically also, the people should be more skilled. So for example, human resource development, skill development, etc. should be a part of this. Now, the government will offer financial incentives for critical mineral exploration and promote the recovery of these minerals from overburdens and tailings. What are overburdens and tailings? Promote the recovery from overburden and tailings. Whenever we are extracting a mineral, okay, mining, generally it is underground, or generally it is under some sort of a other geographical feature, ठीक है, या कोई पहाड़ के नीचे, या कुछ some sort of layers of rock or earth or will also be there on it. So that is known as overburden. So while the main resource, the main majority portion will be in underground, let's say, there will be some minor traces of that mineral which will also be present on the top of it. Correct? That is known as overburden. And tailings is when you have extracted the entire mineral from the mine. लास्ट में कुछ बची कुची थोड़ी बहुत जो रह जाती है, मिट्टी, सैंड, whatever, that also has some very few constituents of that mineral. Critical minerals are so important that we cannot let go of them even from overburden and tailings. We need to extract it from both these places. Okay, so this is overburden and tailings. हाँ, ये भी हो सकता है, वो तो खैर अलग ऑपरेशनल चैलेंजेस है. ओवरबर्डन मतलब ऊपर कोई भी अगर उसके स्ट्रक्चर है, ज्योग्राफिकल, जियोलॉजिकल, ठीक है. ओके, देन इनकरेज इंडियन PSUs and private sectors so that private sector companies should also acquire assets abroad. Stockpile, you create a stockpile, buffer stocks, create mineral processing parks, polymetallic nodules from offshore areas. Recently, India has received the permission to explore from International Seabed Authority. We have got the permission to explore polymetallic nodules. What are these polymetallic nodules? Small rock-like, pebbles-like structure which are lying on the ocean floor, and they can be extracted, and they are also rich in rare earth elements. Okay, so yes. So what is the governance framework? These activities will be coordinated by the empowered committee on critical minerals, and critical minerals will be under the Ministry of Mines. So basically we are only trying to augment the resources of critical minerals. If you look at the recycling, now government has recently approved the recycling component of this. Till now we were talking about boosting domestic production and augmenting our assets abroad. Now we are talking about recycling. So again, the tenure of the scheme will be for 6 years, and it will be implemented by a project management agency which will be designated by the Ministry of Mines. It will be again a central sector scheme. So mostly any scheme which will be related to critical minerals will be determined by the center government, because we have already amended the MMDR Act to state that all critical minerals and their, ownership, licenses, all the regulatory work is allotted to the central government. It is no longer with the state government, though they may not be present in majority, but still it is with the central government. So recycling should be done. And then where all recycling, which all feedstock? This is an important point. This can be asked, that what all can be used, what all raw material can be used to extract critical minerals. So raw material can include old, spent, used lithium-ion batteries, e-waste from mobiles, electronics, laptops, etc. Spent magnets, magnets which are old and worn out, spent catalysts, okay, metal scrap and industrial waste, and end-of-life solar panels. That means solar panels which have also become redundant. All these is the eligible feedstock. Okay. Now, what is the financial incentive that the government is giving? Approximately up to 50% of the capital expenditure that a company will be making on recycling units will be given by the government, up to a limit of maximum 150 crores per project. Maximum 150 CR tak 50%. And up to 20,000 rupees per ton of critical mineral recycled will be rewarded for a period of 5 years. Okay. R&D innovation support will also be provided by the government. So the outcome of this is that it will strengthen our mineral security. It will help in building a recycling ecosystem. All that e-waste which is getting gathered will also finally find some use. And then attract private investment and innovation. And of course, carbon footprint will be reduced. Sustainable initiatives will be done. It will enhance and encourage circular economy. Clear? So this is regarding the recycling incentive scheme. That means the recycling component of National Critical Mission. Is this clear? Okay. This is the list of different critical minerals. Okay, let's answer this question. तीसरा तो होगा नहीं, तो मैंने बता ही दिया तुम्हें. All rare earth elements are critical minerals for every country. No, this is a governance related this thing. Prerogative of the government. Critical minerals are solely defined by their abundance. No, they are also defined by their economic importance. So first is also not correct. Yes, answer is B. Next. ओनली वर्ड आ गया, ठीक, तो वैसे ही तुम्हारे लिए इजी हो गया, राइट. सो येस, एंड इट हेल्प्स इन रिकवरिंग critical minerals and it aims to reduce our import dependence. Okay, this question. Same, oh sorry. This is the last question and this is actually your homework. If you can answer it here, I'll be happy. छः नाम है. Actually, this is the same. 1 and 3 is same, right? Yes. Only one is centrally sponsored. Rest all are central sector schemes. So that means majority of the schemes that we have done today are central sector schemes. Okay, so that's all for today. We have covered agriculture, we have covered petroleum, mines and coal. Tomorrow we will be taking up infrastructure. So we'll be dealing with railways, roadways, ports, shipping, etc. and Ministry of Finance and a little bit of new and renewable energy. So solar panels and all. So last year, for example, UPSC asked a question on Surya Ghar. So all those things we'll cover. Okay, thank you.